Craig, we are live.
All right, okay, sorry. Hi, everyone.
I'm live whenever. I'm good whenever.
Well, I was ready for a countdown, but whatever.
I apologize.
Hi, everyone. My name's Craig, and welcome to the very first episode of Guildgates and Goblins. We're very excited to bring you what we've been working on here, but do bear in mind this is our first show, so there might be some technical issues like that further into the episode. However, before we dive into the game, we'll quickly introduce ourselves. So, Merchant, if you'd like to start us off.
Sure. My name's Merchant. Hello. You're on my Twitch channel, so hopefully you know who I am. But you might have come for the D&D. If you have, I'm a Magic the Gathering streamer and YouTuber. I'm a huge fan of D&D. I first played with my friend Craig many years ago in, I think, 3rd edition. Craig could probably verify that, but I'm not sure.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right. We've been friends for a very, very long time. We've been fans of D&D for a long time too. So, yeah, very excited for the show. And but anyway, I'll move on.
All right, thanks. Turtle.
Hi everyone, I'm always Turtle. I also do occasionally stream, and you'll find me at Always Turtle. I play some D&D, as you guys can see. I stream some Gwent and other stuff, and I'm happy to be here and playing with you guys. So let's do it.
All right, good stuff. Lockin.
Hi, I'm Lockin. I stream Artifact and not pretty much just Artifact. I met Merchant through Gwent, and then we started playing D&D together. And then after a few other games, we kind of settled on this one, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, nice. Alias.
Hello everyone, I'm Alias. I am a Magic the Gathering streamer, and this is my first ever Dungeons & Dragons campaign, so if you are new to it, you're going to be learning along with me. Be kind. I will get good eventually, I promise. Oh, and yeah, I stream to twitch.tv/AUC. That's where I am.
Nice. And Thuric 6.
You got my name right. Hello. Thuric 6. I don't stream. I also don't know why I chose like the hardest name to pronounce in all of history. But I do make YouTube videos on Magic Arena. Feel free to check me out. We're playing D&D. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like my name's X, and I'm here to play D&D. Okay, right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So finally, as I said at the start, my name is Craig, and I'm going to be the Dungeon Master for the campaign. So I'm not a YouTuber or a content producer or a streamer like the rest of the guys here. I'm just someone who really likes playing D&D. But hopefully you'll come to know me as the campaign goes on. However, if you do like, you can follow me on Twitter at G&G Craig, where you can ask any questions about the campaign, how I've run things, stuff like that. So yeah, the show is on every Saturday, live 10 p.m. GMT here on Twitch, and then it's also uploaded onto YouTube the next day. The campaign will be set in the city of Ravnica, and I've put it together using the official Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica setting book. Also, big thanks to Wizards of the Coast for giving us permission to use official assets and art in our campaign. It's pretty cool of them. However, if everyone's ready, I'm quite happy to begin.
The name's Daru Kine. And to me, the city's far too chaotic. Though the rest of my family are proud legionnaires, I sought a different path. One more orderly, less zealous. Though I wished to join the ranks of the lawmakers of the Azorius, they felt that my skills were a little bit more suited to the field. My day-to-day typically involves looking at the failings of the law and cleaning up after the mess. Though I am currently no more than a Lea detective, I know that one day I'll show the Boros, the Azorius, and all of Ravnica what true order and peace look like.
My name is Talora Silvertide, daughter of revered biomancers Leander and Evelyn Silvertide of the Ximic Combine. My childhood was a fairly average one. Went to school, made friends, this and that. However, unfortunately, I was simply too average for my illustrious parents. Seeing that I wasn't excelling well enough, my parents had me genetically altered and hybridized at a young age. I now possess the DNA of some of the ruling race here in the Combine, the merfolk, as well as enhanced magical capabilities, which previously I had none of. My parents sought to run my life, make me into the ultimate Simic biomancer or something. Well, guess what? Screw them. As I've seen more and more of the outside world, I want to get out there and see it with my own eyes. I want to experience it with my own two hands. And I'll be damned if my parents get to choose my path. My creator's strength is only as strong as my own weakness.
Alright, Reg is the name. Some of the lads in the Legion call me Two Scars, though, on account of my handsome face, of course. I ain't much of a hero, just a local guard doing his bit to shut down all this chaos that seems to be popping up these days. Got a taste of it myself years ago, when those bloody mad Rakdos lot came whirling through Foundry Street. I stood up for myself, told the buggers to scarper and got torn to shreds for it. I ain't looking to cause trouble, but if I get a chance at tearing down that cult, I ain't gonna think twice before returning the favour. Anyway, I owe the Legion a lot, saving me and all that. And I reckon this lot's the one to be in with to fix this bloody mess. Here's open anyway.
Born with an innate ability to build and learn, I took to creating from a young age. Music, art, but most importantly, engineering. I am the proud owner of the world's most efficient thunder cannon. Taking inspiration from dragons, I perfected a way of melting ammunition at 2700 degrees into blasts of plasma energy. But of course, I'm more than just a man with a machine, initially groomed to follow in the footsteps of my father, a distinguished member of the Boros Legion. I've picked up a few tricks to stay alive. While naturally taken to learning and reading, I've never been one to shy away from a social setting either. While some of my colleagues might prefer the company of a book or a blueprint, I've always preferred the company of a gorgeous woman and a glass of Chardonnay. I'm looking to leave a legacy on the world, and I'm not concerned with guilds. But as long as Izzet's goals line up with mine, and the professor who mentors me is still willing to tolerate me, I'm willing to play Izzet's games. And who knows, maybe I'll make a splash at Niv Mizzet one day.
I am a Ceres Stonehoof, a loyal member of the Boros Legion. Or at least I used to be, until I discovered the hard way that blind loyalty is a dangerous thing. Now, I'm far more cautious with where I place my trust. Much like my father and his father before him, I joined the Legion believing I would make a difference, stand for justice and defend the weak. But there's only so much I can do patrolling the streets of Ravnica. It's been so long since my last decent battle. My rage grows as my axe rusts, and I long for the Gruul to riot once again. I need more than this. There has to be more. I'll find it.
I'm so ready.
Good.
Let's do it.
All right. So, we see the image of a long corridor. Varnished wood panels the floor, and the walls are adorned with portraits, antiques, and other decorative items. The occasional door breaks up the walls, but mostly it's a featureless place. Suddenly, a figure begins to make its way quickly through the corridor. A figure dressed in purple robes, with a gold trim and hood raised. The figure moves quickly. The only sound, the tap of its heels on the wood, the swish of its robes with each step. Long, pale, ink-stained hands ring together as they move quickly through the hall. Eventually, the figure arrives at a door that marks the end of the corridor. Hastily, they remove keys from their robe, unlock the door, slip inside, and lock it again once inside. The room they are in looks to be a study or office of some sort. There is a large desk adorned with various items. The walls are lined with shelves and bookcases, and a large fireplace with 2 chairs takes up one corner. However, the object in the middle seems to be the focus of the figure's attention. Slowly, almost reverently, they make their way towards a large circular plinth. The plinth comes up to about the waist, and at the top is a raised rectangular block, with a dagger buried in the column up to its hilt. The grip of the dagger seems to be a very dark green, almost black wood. The pommel has the figure of a spider carved into it, with the 8 legs branching off at the end of the dagger. The figure grasps the handle with both hands and, with a very sharp tug, they wrench the dagger out of the plinth. The blade itself is curved and comes to a very sharp point. The metal has a very high sheen to it, almost to the point where it looks like a mirror. The figure grasps the blade and, with a quick motion, drags it across their palm. Immediately, their hand begins to bleed profusely, but they bring the blade up to their eye, and as they look closely, an image begins to form in the blood that slides down the blade. We see that same corridor once again, but this time 3 insectoid creatures are moving down the hall, spears grasped in their hands. The robed figure gasps and hurriedly takes the dagger in both hands and now points the blade down towards the floor. They begin to mutter to themselves, reciting something that seems to be a verse or a prayer of some sort, but the words are too quiet for us to hear. The handle of the door to the room suddenly turns, and finding it locked, large bangs and pounding on the door can now be heard. Suddenly, a spear point breaks through the wood, and between the gap, we can once again see the same insect creatures outside. One of the insects locks eyes with the robed figure, and after a series of sharp clicks and chitters to the others, they renew their pounding on the door and quickly begin to break it down. The robed figure has continued its chanting, and as it begins to reach a crescendo, black smoke drifts up between the floorboards and starts to envelop them. The door has now fallen off its hinges, and insects begin to pour into the room, and just before they can reach the robed figure, he vanishes in a puff of black smoke. But that was several weeks ago. Today in Ravnica is the Festival of the Guild Pact, a day of celebration and merriment where all folk flock to the streets, courtyards, and plazas of the city. It's a day for peace and for getting to know one another, to meet and to talk with people of various guilds and backgrounds, and to enjoy all manner of entertainment that people put out on the street. We join the celebration now in a slightly less crowded street within the 10th district of Ravnica. Two figures are sitting at a table together just at the side of the street. So, Merchant, if you'd like to describe your character first, please.
Sure. Reg Two Scars is he's actually quite large for a goblin, as large as a goblin ever gets. He stands about, a solid 3'10" off the ground. Quite a bulky figure for a goblin. He's dressed in pretty grimy, tarnished armor. It looks fully functional. There's no parts missing. It is a full suit of scale mail, but it's definitely seen some more glorious days. However, it's obviously very well used. He has a bow slung across his back and what could liberally be called a sword at his waist. It is more like a jagged edge of rusty metal with a bit of leather wrapped around one end. His face he's got a large hooked nose, and even compared to most goblins, he is quite exceptionally ugly, given in part to the quite brutal disfigurement he actually has across part of his face. Two large, jagged scars run vertically across his face on each side of his nose. It's quite definitely the first thing that you would notice about him looking at him. But other than that, he seems to be in quite jolly spirits. He doesn't seem to be downtrodden at all, as he's pacing along quite bravely so far.
Okay, and the other figure we see at the table, Thuric 6, if you'd like to describe your character.
So, Daru Kine is a very tall, middle-aged man with nice caramel skin and incredibly snowy white hair. He's wearing the typical armaments that you would see on a member of the Azorius. It's nice, shiny plate armor that has nice flowing blue robe pieces adorning it. He has a very serious look about him, very rarely showing much emotion of any kind, and he kind of just keeps his eyes darting around looking, not suspiciously, but definitely looking concerned over the gathering crowds of this sort of level of festival.
So, we do join these two figures in conversation, so let's see what they're talking about.
Alright, Daru. I gave the kid a bop on the nose, and I think he's learned his lesson.
Yes, he may have learned his lesson. However, the person he was stealing from is not going to get any justice now. I was going to bring him in, and you ruined that.
Oh, give it a rest, Daru. I simply gave him a little bop on the nose. He's alright. The shopkeeper got his apple back, didn't he?
But the criminal got away to do it again. That's the problem with you, Legionnaires. You refuse to take protocol into account.
Oh, come on. Protocol, this and that. He's alright. He might have got away, but he got away with a bloody nose, I say.
A bloody nose is less than he deserves.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one, my friend.
So, at this point now, where you guys are sitting, it is kind of like an open-air bar. but it's more sort of on the fringes of the festival now. You're a little bit away from the outside of the city, and you generally at this sort of time of day, it's getting to about mid-afternoon, so people generally start making their way towards the main centers of the city, and you can see crowds starting to move off and form that way.
Ooh, I reckon a crowd's forming over there.
I see that. Would you like to walk over towards them?
Yeah, old Reg loves a show.
I have nothing better to do today. I might as well follow you.
I won't even wait for him to finish his sentence. I'll just dart towards the crowd.
Okay. All right. So as you guys make your way along the street, there's banners sort of adorning between the buildings. Flower petals are kind of adorning the streets, and there are various sort of sellers and merchants and other people putting on shows and displays along the side of the road. But one thing that catches your eye, and that's a theater display where this large crowd is gathered around. And as you guys are approaching, it does seem to be coming to an end, but on the main stage, there's just a single figure up there dressed in green and white robes, and they're holding a staff. And as you're approaching, they yell out, "And thus, at Maze's end, the runners end their strife. Our saving grace, that hooded kid, is now guild pack for life." And with that, a nearby Is-It Mage sends up a shower of sparks and fire, and the crowd clap diligently, and there's cheering and yelling, and everyone's kind of pleased with the show. But now if we look to the other side of the crowd, there's two more figures there. One of them's a slightly stooped, older-looking man dressed in the red and blues of the Is-It League, and he seems to be squinting towards the main stage. But the other figure, Lockin, if you'd like to describe yourself.
Sure. He's an average height human male, probably early 20s. He's got just jet black hair, relatively well-groomed, clean-shaven. He has large brown eyes, and he's wearing sharp reds that kind of match his Is-It demeanor. A black cloak that covers a lot of him, but he does have a bandolier kind of clearly shown, and there is some sort of glove on his right hand.
Okay. So after the end of the show, the older Is-It Mage kind of turns to you and says, "Well, I don't know about you, young Kosh, but I thought that was rather good. I've always been a fan of amateur theatre."
Ember, you fell asleep during the second act.
Posh. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's great to be out in the street again, to be back with the people.
Yeah, anytime we can get out of that stuffy lab of yours is fine with me.
Quite right, young man, quite right. Oh, let's head further into the festival and see what we can find.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find more than just amateur theater here.
Okay, so as the two of you step away, we now see Daru and Reg making their way down the street, and as they do, Master Ember seems to immediately zoom in on Reg, and he yells out to you, Reg, "Hello, excuse me, Master Goblin, can I borrow you for a moment?"
Oh, I ain't much of a master, but go ahead, mate.
I'm conducting experiments in the future, and I need to know about Goblin Metabolism. It's a strange one, I know, but I need to know about Goblin Metabolism. Could I be a bother and ask, could you tell me how many meals do you eat on average a day? Is it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or is it lots of little snacks, or?
Mate, the points count?
Well, I suppose, yes.
Right, well, in that case, I reckon 15 or 16 a day.
My. Do you know if that's average for your race?
Oh, well, judging by my time on Foundry Street, I reckon it might be a light lunch, but yeah, something about that.
Okay, and you see he pulls out like a small notepad that he flips through, and he seems to jot something down into it. Before he turns to you now, Kosh, and says, "Well, look, I don't know about you, but I'm going to head further into the festival. But why don't you spend some time with these fine fellows and get to know people from other guilds? I know you like to spend a lot of time inside, Kosh, but it's important that on today of all days that we get to know one another. So why don't I leave you in their care if you fine gentlemen don't mind?" Yes, great. I'll head further and meet up with me later.
He looks keen.
Sure, Ember, whatever you say.
Lovely. I'll catch up with you later. And with that, Ember hurriedly walks off down the street. Despite being an older guy, there is a lot of energy and activity to him. He's quite an excitable guy, it seems. So, now the three of you are gathered on the street.
Looks like we're stuck together.
Well, I reckon so. Who are you anyway? You one of them, is it, boys?
Yeah, I'm one of the Izzard boys. The name's Kosh.
Oh, lovely. My name's Old Reg.
The name's Daryl.
First name Old, last name Reg.
Yeah, something like that. That's what they call me about.
Right. And your name?
The name's Daryl.
Daru. I'll extend a hand to Daru.
Is this the one with the gauntlet on it?
No, the left one.
Okay. Daru reluctantly reaches out his hand and shakes it.
Okay. I'll reach down to the goblin too. Extend a hand.
I'll grab his hand, but instead of shaking it, I'll bring him in for like a hug and just hug his legs.
That is a interesting smell you've procured.
It's the smell of the streets, mate. Can't beat it.
I'm thinking of a couple things that could. Oh, Imbert, we're gonna have a talk later. All right. Well, I am at your mercy on this one. Where are we headed?
Well, it's a good question. I reckon we keep having a look around this festival.
So, do you want to actually look around, see what's
I'll sort of scan for. It's gonna be real. I'd be having a look around, see someone like a beer tent or a pub or
Okay.
something.
We'll come to that in a
somewhere to
second.
Socialize, you know.
One of those things is there, but as well as that, you see various groups and guilds kind of out in force. But normally, whereas people generally like to congregate within their guild groups or with each other, there's a lot more sort of flowing and mixture to the kind of dress of what people are wearing. You're seeing people from the Cult of Rakdos, alongside even those of the Azorius Senate. Not always the most pleasant of conversations between them, but at least they're talking. You see a few as well, Rakdos performers along the streets doing various kind of gymnastics and tumble routines. There's a fire eater at one point, which is he's kind of wowing a crowd of younger kids who are kind of clapping and cheering as he's putting on various displays. There appears to be a lot further down the street somebody lecturing a crowd of some sort that's kind of gathered around. However, one thing you do see is that beer tent. There's a large sort of awning, and in front of that is about 3 or 4 benches or tables with benches around them. And there's a large portly man you can see kind of serving out drinks and chatting to people that come up to him.
I'll gesture towards the beer tent and be like, right, lads, I reckon if we're looking to see Ravnica culture, that's where we'll find it.
Really? Everywhere else in this entire festival, and you think that's where we'll find the culture?
Yeah, there's drinks from every guild under the city and that.
Yeah, I agree. Whew.
Right.
Cool.
Okay, so you guys making your way there.
Yeah, I'll start making my way there.
You're all going?
I'm used to Reg's nonsense. However, I'd be looking for more pickpockets, especially since Reg kind of dealt with the other one.
Sure. Okay.
And crowds like this, I tend to look for that type of crime.
Why don't you go ahead and make the first roll of the campaign then, if you want to give me a perception check there.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We Dungeons and Dragons now.
12.
12. Okay. You do see people running around. Generally, sometimes they could be used kind of for distractions for people going into pickpocket and stuff like that. But there doesn't really seem to be anything that you notice directly of anyone getting kind of a purse stolen or anything like that. It seems pretty above board from what you can tell. But yeah, so you all make your way over to the beer tent now, yep?
Yeah, I'm just wandering over there.
Okay. With Reg, I always think it's more of a waddle than a...
No, Reg he has quite like a bounding stride, like very up and down. Almost more up and down than forwards.
Okay. All right, so you guys pull up to the front of the beer tent, and as I said, behind it is a bald, portly man. He has got quite a ruddy complexion. His face is kind of almost bright red, like a beetroot red. There's kind of beads of sweat along his temples and his forehead bit. As you kind of come up alongside him, he says to you, hello, my friends. How are you doing today?
Oh, never better, sir. Never better.
Great. I understand that you've come over here, and I bet I can guess what you're after. A drink.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Well, friends, let me tell you, today, first one's free on the house to celebrate the festival.
Oh, Oh, what
So-
a terrible economic decision.
Well, hopefully
That's
I
how they
can
really
I
get
gotta
in.
reach up to the bar and get my drink.
Sure, yeah. You do notice there's like several tankards filled up with like some sort of foamy liquid, whether it's beer or ale. Doesn't quite immediately become clear to you, but do you all take a tankard?
Yeah, I grab one. I take a
right.
hearty swig as soon as I have it.
Okay. It's nice. It seems to be refrigerated of some way. It's cooling because it is quite a hot day. The sun is out and the kind of close press of all the people on the street can be a little bit stifling, but it's quite refreshing.
Okay, yeah. I'll give it a very kind of judging glance. Does it look good, or does it look very, very cheap?
It just looks like an amber liquid with foam on the top.
Take a very dainty sip.
Okay. Taking a sniff of the vintage, it's hard to tell exactly where the hops originated from in the city, but it's passable. You've had better in your time, but it's not bad.
Okay, I'll take a swig, I guess.
Okay.
When in Rome, or when in Ravnica.
Okay.
Daru looks at the offer of the tankard and he says, "Do you have any water?"
Sure. Why? Yeah. Of
Tell
course
him
we do.
no.
All right. And he pulls out from behind the bar. There's a small wooden cup, and he pulls it under the counter, and then he just hands it to you. It's a little bit smaller than these large tankards of ale, but it seems to be a cup of water.
And is this cooled as well?
Yes, if you have a sip, and yeah, there's also it seems to be refrigerated in some way.
Man, Daru, the party does not start till you show up, I see.
Oh, he's always
I like
fun.
to keep my wits about me.
What wits he has.
Well, he can't spare them like we can.
Yeah, good point. Right, and I'm gonna knock back like a solid half of my pint.
Okay. So Dell kind of looks on, appreciates it, and he says, "Well, it seems that you quite like the drink. Why don't you go and have a sit down and clear out so I can serve some more customers?"
Right, to the point. I like it. I'm gonna
So
go.
behind you guys, there's like a series of benches. It's quite jam-packed, though. It's quite a popular. This first drink is free, obviously, but you do find one space at a bench where there's just enough for all three of you who want to sit down at it. There's two other figures there at the table.
Yeah, I'll go grab a seat.
Okay,
Same.
all right. The two other figures, actually. Well, first of all, Turtle, if you'd like to describe your character.
Talora is an average humanoid height. She has long, kind of violet hair, which looks a little odd. She's got kind of scalish features, not completely, but here and there. And she has gills on her neck. She has bright blue eyes, and she's wearing kind of tattered, not completely nice robes, but a decent setup. But she's, looking worse for wear at the time.
Okay. And Alias, if you'd like to describe your character as well.
All right. Aceris is a Boros Minotaur. She's tall, sturdy, and imposing. Even with all the joy and celebration around, you can see it takes a while to get her to unwind. She's very much on guard, keeping an eye out for any shenanigans that may be afoot. She is dressed in her Boros armor. It's well worn, but very well looked after. You can tell that she's a bit of an obsessive cleaner when it comes to keeping her weapons in good nick. And she's never far away from her axe or her shield. So those are nearby.
Okay. Azaris, Talora, you guys know each other actually just from this morning, about half an hour or so ago. Azaris, you ran into Talora while she was perusing the wares of a cloth merchant. And she began to sort of take a good look at the wares that were on offer. And the merchant got kind of upset upon seeing her Simic hybrid appearance and became quite flustered at her. And you stepped in and kind of soothed down the angry merchant, and you decided to come and find a quieter place to sit down and have a drink. But now that quiet seems to be spoiled by these three new people who are coming down and sitting at the table.
All right.
I'll see Talora and go sit over next to her. Well, hello there.
Oh my
Can I
god.
help you?
That remains to be seen. I'm Kosh, and these are... Well, they don't really matter. What's your name?
The name is Talora, and I fancy you keep that goblin away. He kind of can smell from here.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
No respect for an old guard here.
Reg is renowned in the Boros Legion for his odor.
Right.
Oh, by the way, this is my friend Aceris. And I point to the really fearsome-looking Minotaur across the table.
Hi.
All right.
I'd shake your hand, but I'm afraid you'd break mine.
Probably if you try any more lines like that.
I'll reach out to Sarah's with my hand. Right, well,
You
I
do-
see you've heard of me.
Yes.
Zaris has seen Reg about the 10th district here. He is quite a reputable guy amongst the Legion, known for kind of schooling the younger folk at times. He sometimes takes them under his wing, that sort of thing.
Right.
Good to see you, Reg.
Yeah.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, Zaris. I hope my reputation doesn't precede me, as they say. Don't
it
believe
does.
anything they tell you. And I'll reach my hand out towards Talora as well.
I shake his hand kind of like if I have to.
As soon as he touches my hand, I'm like, "And what the bloody hell are you?"
What am I? What do you mean?
Well, you look like one of them fishy folk, to be honest.
Well, at least I don't smell like one, unlike this goblin.
Right, point taken. I was burying my face in my drink again.
Well, now you've hurt his feelings. That was just rude.
I'm sure he'll survive.
Oh, Reg survives a lot.
And I look over
Yeah, dude.
to Darrow and I'm like, and you are?
I say the name is Daru Kine, and then I I cast Thaumaturgy to have like a cool like raven sound cry behind me.
Sure, yeah.
What the bloody hell was that?
What the hell?
I see this guy's moves are about as good as yours, Kosh.
Whoa. Mine are way better than this guy. So, whoa, you haven't even seen me get started yet. I'm just getting warmed up.
Mm-hmm. You guys here for a drink?
Yeah, something like that.
I
I
can
reckon.
continue sipping my water.
A drink or five?
What are you? What's everyone drinking, huh?
Probably the same thing you are.
Whatever they gave me for free.
True. Free drinks are always the best.
Yeah, it makes it taste all the sweeter.
Hmm.
What you guys been enjoying at the festival today?
Honestly, no.
Oh,
Everyone's far too happy for my liking, but you know.
Not
That
to
is-
mention, you keep bumping into everyone.
Well, yes, right. You would think that they would see a big minotaur and like keep their space, but no, they just like run straight into me. It's like, am I just invisible? I don't know. Anyway,
You
I'll
guys
just stay
are
here.
surprisingly depressing about this festive day.
Indeed.
right. Well,
Well, this is awkward.
what about you, Talora? You enjoying the festival a bit more than our
I mean-
sour cow here?
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I haven't seen much of Ravnica before, so this is very interesting to me.
Right, yeah. Most of the places I see are in the lower levels. They ain't so nice as this, but this is a nice one.
Hmm.
As a goblin, isn't everything you see at a lower level?
Oh,
I appreciate your science-based humor, friend, but well, I'll let you get away with that one.
In that case, should we go out and explore more of this bazaar if you guys are so well inclined?
Yeah, all right.
Sure.
Not
Wow.
bad to do.
as you guys begin to get out of your seats and begin to make your way further through, the atmosphere of the festival suddenly changes. The distant sounds of raised voices can be heard further down the street. And there's kind of a pause, and all kind of heads around you sort of turn until eventually you can hear a scream. And then there's the sound of steel clashing. And suddenly the crowds around you begin to fall back from where you are and run in the opposite direction of the sounds.
Hell.
I'll immediately snap to Azares and be like, right, Azares, was it? Time to work.
Yep.
And I'll sling my
Let's
bow
go.
off my back and run towards the clashing.
Okay.
Same.
As you all begin to kind of head closer to the sound, you hear a loud bang and crack, and you're all sort of thrown a bit back as like rock and dust are suddenly fill the street, and you actually see a large, almost snake-like figure of water burst out of the ground and kind of arc over and begin to form above the street before it suddenly zips down towards the street level once again, kind of on top of itself.
Jesus.
What is that?
My thoughts exactly.
I ain't fought nothing like this before.
Anybody have any ideas?
Can I figure out like what type of thing is going on there?
Sure. Are you doing this spell-wise, or are you just taking a look?
Just like trying to figure out if
Oh,
I know
whoops.
what it is.
Ignore
Okay.
that.
You know it's something magical, in nature. But give me an Arcana check to see if we can determine if you can know exactly what it is.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay. So
Got it.
from your studies, you immediately recognize the name of the spell. It's called Water Knot, and it's known to restrain people and hold them close. That's primarily what it's used for. And you see it now as wrapped itself around a figure and pulled him now up into the air. And Kosh, you actually recognize the figure of Master Ember being held by this snake of water. And as he's being grasped, he says, "Get off me, you infernal!" as it kind of clamps over his back. And now you begin to see people climbing across the rooftops and looking down the street, and the crowds are still kind of filing past you before the sounds of clashing steel begin to get a little bit closer. And now these people on the rooftops are firing bows and crossbows indiscriminately into the crowd, and you're seeing people fall down next to you injured, and the crowds are just fleeing.
Right. I assume that I see Master Ember in the water as well, right?
Yeah, you see him kind of pulled up by it, and he's kind of struggling against it, but he seems to be raised about...
Do I recognize it's like some sort of magical trickery of some sort?
Yeah.
Alright. Could I have a look around the people on the rooftop and see if I can see one that's like casting a spell or something?
Yeah, I was gonna kind of say that exact same thing too.
Okay, why don't the both of you give me a perception check then?
Let me just
Okay.
get my character sheet on. Alright.
Oh boy, that is a
19.
Oh.
that's a 4.
Okay. So, Kosh, you don't really see anything. You're a bit distraught seeing Master Ember kind of taken low. He's normally been kind of a powerful figure in your life, and to see him restrained like this, it's too distracting to kind of focus on really anything else. But, Reg, you do see a figure. It's hard to see him that well from where you are, but you can kind of see he's got his arms outstretched like that, and he's got kind of lank, greasy hair coming down that frames his face. He's got a ragged, long brown jacket on, and he's kind of a little bit further away on one rooftop. And then closer to you guys, up to your left and to your right, you see these figures that are much closer firing into the crowds on the street.
Right. I'd start booking it a little bit towards the
Okay.
guy casting.
Are any of you doing anything else, or are we just all going to
I'll
start
swing
moving
my bow
towards?
as well.
How many dudes are on the roof again? Sorry.
You can see 3 figures armed with bows, and then this 4th figure that seems to be in control of this watery snake, for lack of a better word.
Okay, I'll run along and I'll say, somebody's probably gonna need to catch him, right?
Okay. All right. As soon as we're all starting to move, let's go onto the battle map here. And we shall begin to roll perception. Or not perception, initiative.
Initiative.
One job,
You've already-
Craig.
You can see some Boros
Right.
Legion fighters that are kind of engaging with these other figures. But now that you're getting a little bit closer, you can see that the figures are adorned in kind of the robes and vestments or dress of almost every single guild. All 10 guilds are represented amongst these people that are attacking.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hard to tell exactly who's against who, but there's these 4 Boros guys who seem to be putting up some sort of resistance. So you guys are a little bit further along around here. And if you could all roll initiative for me.
Right.
I have a 16.
16,
I
okay?
get initiative on this. No, I get advantage, sorry, because not initiative.
One job.
I get advantage on this because I'm a ranger, so...
Yes.
Ranger.
What's Rangers? My first one is actually a 20 total, not natural. And my
Okay.
next one is a 21, so 21 overall.
17 total for me.
17 for Azaris.
6.
6 for Daru.
And then 15 for me.
15. Okay, give me a second whilst I add those. So, actually, Connor, if I could, or Reg rather, if I could get a contested dexterity check from you, because one of the enemies you're fighting also.
Yep, sure thing. My dex is +3, so.
So I rolled a 15.
I rolled a 9, so
All right. Okay.
gonna be.
Okay. So give me a second just to add everyone here to the turn timer. So the figures that you can see on the roof, they're the ones shooting the bows, and it's about 30 or 40 feet up from where you are. And then these figures on the street are engaging in combat with these Boros fighters.
All right.
Sorry,
Craig, which is the one that I could see casting the spell?
He's the one here, just the furthest one on the right. This guy here.
Okay, cool. By the way, just to clarify to everyone watching, next episode we will have a battle screen where you can also see our cameras. But for this episode, we don't quite have it, so patience.
Almost there. And Talura, what did you roll on your...
I rolled a 16.
16. Okay, so first action goes to the spellcasting figure on the rooftop there. So what he's going to do is, you see him kind of twist his hands a little bit more, and this snake-like water figure pulls Master Ember closer to him, and now Master Ember is dangling along from the roof against him. And Master Ember is still kind of struggling, but there doesn't really seem to be much he can do against what he's held by. And the figure is still kind of concentrating on this. He's not really focused on you. But now it's Reg's turn. So if you'd like to start us off.
Right, I will. I'll have a look up on the rooftops. I assume that I see these people are like firing down on people, right? These two.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a shot at the one closest to me. So the Davenant Trapper or whatever it's called. This one.
Yeah, that's the art I used. Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So that's going to have initiative because they haven't taken an action yet because I'm a ranger. All right. That is a 17 and a 15. So 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. And then that's a...
Just a quick question, Craig.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So who are the our allies, the people in red? They're like the Boros Legion that are fighting these guys back, or we can't really tell?
It's hard to tell exactly. The Boros Legion guys are sort of the uniformed force who seem to be fighting off this attack. And everyone else is sort of adorned in garbs
Whatever.
of all 10 other, or including a Boros Legion guy is also fighting a guy in Boros Legion armor. So it's a little bit confusing at times.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I rolled a 5 on my damage, so that's 5 plus 3 is 8, and they're a humanoid, right?
They are, yes.
So that's my favorite enemy, so that's 10 damage overall.
10 damage. All right, nice, yeah. She's firing down into the crowds of Boros fighters, but you just managed to sink an arrow deep up into her collarbone, and it sinks right past, and you can see it blast out behind her shoulder, and it seems to have done quite a bit of damage to her.
Right. And I will, I'll move a little bit closer. I'll kind of move up to this table here behind her.
Okay, sure.
That's the end of my turn.
All right. Azaries, what you got for me?
So where's my thingy? So this one's also firing arrows, right?
Yep.
All right. So first things first, I'm going to rage. I'm a barbarian. I like a fight, so I'm gonna get my rage on.
Sure.
How far is she from me? Ooh, that's not the controller. Hang on. There. So if I wanted to hoik a javelin at her, she's over 40 feet.
It would be 70 feet total, because it's 40 feet from a straight line from where you are to them, and then the building itself is another 30 feet up. So
30 feet up.
I don't even think the javelin can go that far, can it? With its range, I think it's... Oh no, I think you can throw a javelin
It would
up
be
to
I
120.
think it would be a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Disadvantage, yeah.
They might want to get closer.
Yeah, I'll get closer. So I'm going to move up to where Reg is.
Sure.
If I remember.
I mean, that would be 50 feet, right? Like 40 feet and 30 feet. Because it's not
Math.
cumulative? Math?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I think it
Pythagorean
would be
theorem.
50
All right,
with
okay.
Pythagoras, yeah.
Yeah, the old
Right.
Pythagorean
So
theorem.
the
What is
javelin doesn't
maths?
go like 30 feet along, then 40 feet directly up. It does go at an angle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Theorem of Pythagoras. The square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides.
Oh gosh, no.
I bet you guys didn't know this was an educational show.
Because
Yeah,
believe me,
all right.
it's not.
So, all right. So I've moved up to Reg, and I'm
Okay.
going to whip out one of my javelins because
Sure.
it's the only ranged weapon I have, and I'm going to attempt to hit the one next to the Davenant Trapper.
Okay.
So, I have a javelin. So let me roll, see if I hit them. So it's a d20, right?
Yes.
And then +5. Okay, please hit. Boop. I rolled a 20.
20. That's good. Or did you roll a 20? Or
I rolled 15
20?
and then...
Okay. All right,
plus
okay.
5.
Yeah, that hits, so if you want to go ahead and roll damage.
All right, and then 1d6 plus 3. I wore dice today. They're so pretty.
Yeah, you got like metal dice, right?
Yeah, so 8 piercing damage.
8 piercing damage, okay.
So natural 5 plus 3.
Nice. Okay, does that end your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Talora, you're up.
All right. I see the folks firing off from the roof. I'm gonna try to slink closer. This stall right here. Hang on here. I'm gonna get my tool. This stall right here on the bottom here. Can I like use it as cover? Or is it just an open stall?
Yeah, that's the stall where the guy was serving you drinks from. So there is the space underneath the awning where you can hide down there. Or,
Okay,
well,
so-
not hide, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Take cover.
I can kind of
Yeah.
duck pat like in back of the bar kind of thing.
Yes, if you'd like to. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move back there, and I'm gonna duck behind the bar,
Sure.
and I'm gonna spot the 2 people up top, and I'm going to throw an ice knife right at them.
Okay, go ahead.
A
We're
10?
fighting these guys and she's having a drink.
I conjure out ice knife and just drop it into a tankard.
I got a 10. So.
You got a 10 total. I'm afraid that doesn't hit.
However,
I
the
think-
thing with ice knife is even if it doesn't hit, it'll still explode
Yeah. Okay.
and do 2d6 cold damage within 5 feet. They must do dexterity save.
All right. Okay. Let me just roll for that. Okay. So for the figure on the left first, they roll a. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say my DC is 13.
DC's 13. Okay. The figure on the left rolled a 19,
Okay.
so she saves. And then the figure on the right, he rolled a 3, so he does not save. So
All right. So I get a 2d6. So 2d6. So 7 damage.
okay, that'll be enough to get both of them. So you miss the initial target of the archer, but it lands and embeds itself into the roof behind them, and just the knife itself shatters out and explodes, and knocks the 2 figures flying off the roof with these shards of ice embedded in their back, and they come flying down onto the ground and land in these piles of bushes. But both of them are dead.
Yeah. Nice.
All right,
Actually hit something.
nice. Okay,
Reggie's gonna
anything
look
else?
down at his bow and be like, right, well, that happened. Anyway.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okie doke. Kosh, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to look at the guy casting the spell. I can tell he's the one casting at this point,
Yeah.
right?
You don't even need to be magically inclined to realize that, by the way he's kind of acting, and he is very visibly controlling this spell.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of like shoulder the cloak off and like take out the gauntlet, load it up with one of the things off my bandolier, and I'll fire at him.
Okay.
For a 15.
15. That will not hit, actually. So your bullet just whizzes past over his shoulder. It was quite close to his head, but he doesn't even seem to notice. He's too busy concentrating on whatever enchantment or magic he's doing at the moment. So that brings us now to...
Wait, hang on. I still have my
sorry.
movement.
My bad.
You're good. Is there room for me to like both back up against that stall while also being behind Reg and Aseris?
No, it's kind of like a table with 2 benches alongside it. There's not really any space or anything to take cover behind there.
Okay. So can I still, is there room for me to fit, even though I can't take cover on the bench, can I still like get behind Aseris and Reg?
Yeah, there's still space there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll just kick that bench out of the way if I have to.
Okay. All right. So anything else?
No, that'll be my turn. I
Okay.
reload.
Okay, you reload. Okay, so now these figures dressed in a variety of clothing. The first thing, the one on the roof, who you've just seen kill his comrades on the opposite side, he's going to turn and launch a crossbow bolt at you, Reg. So,
Right.
2 seconds. Okay, that's a 14 total.
That does not hit.
Okay. So that'll be the end of his turn. The figure here, so you see this one figure with kind of a curved rapier. He's just finished drawing his weapon out of a dying Boros guard, and now he sees you all closing in and attacking his friends. He's going to move closer, and he's also going to come towards you, Reg.
All right.
And he's going to swing at you with his scimitar. But that's a 12 total.
That does not hit.
Okay. The merfolk figure here, she's going to swing at the Boros guard. And she hits. Okay, she deals 3 damage.
Reg is too OP for this game.
Old Reggie takes a lot to kill.
It's just those tiny goblin strats that are swinging over his head.
Yeah.
They're forgetting to aim down. Yeah.
Why did they go for the smallest of us? I'm confused.
Easier to take out.
So this
We'll see about
woman
that.
dressed in the robes of Orzhov Syndicate person, she also takes a swing at the Boros, one of these Boros guards, but she misses. There's another figure further along dressed in the garb of the Azorius Senate. He manages to actually get a nat 20, and you see him swing his sword two-handed over his head, and he just cleaves the blade right down through the head of this guard and just almost cleaves the skull in two, and this guy just drops dead on the spot as blood begins to pool out of him. And then this guy, he's going to move and join his companion there. And then this other figure, she's going to she's going to cross the street and get to the other Boros guy, and she's going to swing at him. And she also hits. And she just swings her blade in around behind him and just carves him right up the back. And he's taken, you can see his kind of red and white cape is now blooming with blood, but he is still up. However, I think that's, that's their turnover. So, Daru, now you're up.
Oh, I wish I was able to go earlier. I theoretically could have saved some of that. So I'm gonna move down here, and then I'm going to cast Azur's Bane. Sweet Bane spell on. Let's see, that person.
Okay.
That person, and what else can I reach here? I can reach Merfolk Lady.
Okay. So do I need to roll saving throws for them, or is it just...
so they roll the charisma saving throw.
Okay. All right. Guy on the roof first. He rolls a 2, so I assume that's not going to get it.
Fail.
So we'll give him the eye, and then the Orzhov one. She rolls a. That's 19 total.
Yeah, she succeeds.
She succeeds. Did you hit this Azorius guy on the right?
I hit the Merfolk girl.
The Merfolk. Okay.
Yeah.
And she also gets a natural 2, so that's another failure. So you managed to hit 2 of them.
Cool. So for the next minute, they have minus D4 on their attack throws and their saving throws.
Okie doke. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. All right. The Boros guards seen their 2 of their companions fall. One of them, the one surrounded by 2 guards, you actually see he's kind of a young-faced guy. You could say he's kind of a fresh-faced recruit. You see sort of panic in his eyes, and he actually starts to break away, he's going to try to move away from them. And as he does, they both take attacks against him. That first one hits. And that's a 5 total. Okay. And then the second one, she misses. But you see him kind of back off and take the first blow, and as he's stumbling, he just kind of accidentally ducks under the second blow, and he begins to just book it down the street past all of you guys. He doesn't even look at you in the eyes, he just flees.
Oh, our taxpayer money fine at work.
And then the second one, he's going to try and hit the Merfolk one next to him. And that's a natural 5, so that's going to be a miss from him. Nothing too great from them. But now this magical guy on the roof, he has now brought Master Ember onto the roof alongside him, and you see actually this spell end, and he begins to cast something else, and then you see Master Ember's eyes kind of suddenly flare blue, and he now begins to walk off the roof, and Master Ember follows him.
Uh-oh.
And he just goes behind the kind of the slant of the house, and you can just kind of make out the tops of the head, but you see them kind of jogging off the roof now. But that's going to end their turn. So, Reg, you're up.
Right. I see this Boros guy getting hacked into, right? In
Yes.
front of me, this dude here. All right. We go. Oh. Right. I'm gonna run. Can I make this? All right. Yeah, I can. Okay.
Your little goblin legs.
Okay, and
gonna-
if you, I don't know, can you see that guy with the red hair? If you
Yeah,
move-
no, I know. I'm
Okay.
gonna run away from him. I'll take the attack of opportunity.
Okay. All right. He rolls a 16 total.
That hits. That just hits
Okay.
me.
At least he's not a frog.
Yeah.
Session 0
Um,
reference. Yeah.
Okay, that is a 4 total.
Okay, I take 4 points of damage. All right.
Okay.
Alright, after that I'm going, right. Get off me, boys! I'm gonna run towards the guy getting hacked to bits. I'm gonna, like, try to position myself, like, in between the two attacking him.
Sure.
And I will... Who's the one that actually hit him? I can't quite... Was it the merfolk? I think it was the merfolk, right?
No, it was the woman dressed as a member of
The Orzhov, right?
No, she's not Orzhov. She is Selesnya.
Okay. I'll swing at the woman dressed like she's Celeste. Actually, sorry, no, can I, like, redact that? While
Sure.
I'm running, I'll fire my bow at the Selesnya woman.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That is a 16 to hit.
Yeah, 16's going to hit.
Alright. She is a humanoid, right?
She is.
So that is another 10 points of damage. That's a 5.
Okay.
Jesus.
She's a big boy.
All right.
Right, and yeah, like I'll fire that like mid sprint, and
Okay.
then I'll actually draw my sword out and stand sort of next to the recruit, doing as much as I can to kind of attract the ire of the people attacking him.
Okay. So as you are
I'll
running,
literally
you pull it.
yell in the Selesnya woman's face, "There's more of that, right?" And I'll brandish my sword at her.
Okay. As you were running up to her and fired off the arrow, it sunk deep into just underneath her ribs and went deep into her stomach. And you see she kind of clutches and then gradually falls back. So you actually run up to her as she's falling over and dying, yelling at her.
Good. There's
Classic
more of
Reg.
that, right?
Finally, Reg could look someone eye to eye when he's threatening them.
Wow. I'll look at your bloody kneecaps, mate, and I'll rip them off.
Okay. Anything else, Reg?
No, I will just, I'll veer towards the merfolk aggressively. Like I say, do what I can to draw the ire, but
Okay.
that's the end of my turn.
All right. Azares, you're up.
Can I run over this table?
Sure,
Yes.
yeah. If you'd
All
like
right.
to, you can.
Sweet. I'm going to then dash towards the merfolk.
Okay.
So she's 30 feet from me, so I'm going to end up here next to Reg.
So are
And,
you actually taking the dash action here, or are you just moving?
yeah, because I want to do the
Okay, sure.
hammering, the goring rush.
Yes,
So immediately after I use the dash action and move 20 feet, I can make one melee attack with my horns as a bonus action.
Okay.
So I want to run and bulldoze her, basically.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
So why not?
Choo
I have
choo.
horns. Let's use
It's
them.
the
So
Minotaur train.
do I have to go right next to her, or am I in?
No,
hitting-
that's fine. You're in melee range now. So if you just
Okay.
want to give me an attack with the horns.
All right, with my horns. All right, what? 1d6 plus 3 piercing. Ooh, where's the d6? There it is.
So what did you roll to hit first?
Hang on. Oh, right, to hit her first. Right, that's a d20, right? It's like,
Yeah,
I
it
will,
is.
I will hit her. Fine.
Hitting
I
is
will-
always a d20.
14.
14. Is that plus anything, or is that with the plus?
That's so it's 9 plus the 5.
So I think your horns for the Minotaur are an unarmed attack, so you add your strength and your proficiency bonus to them as well. So just
right.
add 2 and then your strength modifier.
What is my strength modifier? Where's that again?
It is.
Should be
It's the
3.
number
Strength?
next to your strength, so it's the small number next to your strength. So if your strength is
Everyone's
16, it
awesome.
should say like 3 next to
Yeah.
it on your
Oh,
character
yeah,
sheet.
Should be
3.
plus 3.
Yeah.
That's
So
your
mine's
modifier.
3.
So 14 plus 5 from the modifier. So that's 19 total, which does hit. So now you can roll damage.
Oh, good. All right. Sorry. I'll get
No worries.
familiarized with the sheet as we go.
It's okay. We're all learning here.
All right. So horns 1d6 plus 3. Right. Okay. So I rolled a 5. So it's an 8. And then plus the other 5. So it's 13. No, 12.
Wait,
13.
how many 5s did you add there? It's 1d6
Alias,
plus
just add as many 5s as you want.
I'll
Just
never
lie.
notice.
the,
So
the- the
I rolled
damage-
5.
Uh-huh.
My horns are 1d6 plus 3 piercing damage.
Yep.
So that's 8.
Yep. Yep.
And then the horns is, yeah, so it's 8. Sorry.
Okay, and then plus your
Don't
rage
tell him
damage
it's
as well.
12.
Yeah.
So
plus
your
the
rage damage is 2 at this level, isn't it? Or is it 1?
Yeah.
It's 2, yeah.
It's 2. Okay,
Two.
so 10 total. Okay,
10 total.
that's enough. And
Yay!
you
Oh,
charge
God
everyone
to death.
and gore this merfolk woman, and you just smash her into the wall that she's alongside, and there's actually a massive dent now in the where she
Right.
just crumples forward, and that seems to be the end of her.
All right. Okay, that was fun.
I just see
Anything
that
else?
like, right.
Um,
Fascinating.
you got them, use them.
And I thought the Dimmy were grim.
Then you can make 1 melee attack with your horns as a bonus action. Okay, so that was my bonus action.
Yeah, so
I've
you
got
use your action to dash, so you still have your movement left.
Am I in range of anyone? It's just this guy with the red hair next to me now, right?
Yeah, and then there's the 2 people to the bottom of the screen. Down. Oops, that's Reg.
Okay.
Down.
So can I set up a reaction?
No,
Non-
setting up a reaction is an action.
Is an action. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's just my
The only thing you can do now is move.
move. Where do I want to move to?
Well, I reckon you should go
I think-
deal with them down there. And I'll point towards the people to the south.
All right, then I will go to the south then. So I can move 30 feet, right?
Yep.
All right, sweet. Let's see. How far are you? Do I want to be right next to them? That's the question. Okay, I'm gonna go here-ish.
Okay.
Just so I'm kind of covered a little bit. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So you kind of duck down beneath the awning there.
Yeah.
Okay. Talora, it's your go.
Hi.
Sorry, Craig, forgive me. What is this? What is this mark on this one here? I totally forgot.
Oh, that's the Zorus's eye from.
Oh, it's Bane.
There it
Of
is.
course, Bane. It's
been
Bane.
Bane,
Of
yeah.
course, sorry.
He's on top of the building, right?
Yes.
It hurts. Wait. Yes, the fire rises.
All right.
Very good.
I'm gonna look at the red hair guy across here.
Sure.
And I'm going to cast Ray of Frost straight at his face.
Okay, go ahead.
Hopefully straight at his face. If not close. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Woo!
Love it. Okay, yeah. If you want to
Please.
double the damage for that one, or well, double the damage die.
Yeah. So it's gonna be 1d8. So 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so you just form this blast of frost that just, it does hit him in the face, and it kind of scours him, and there's shards of ice go across his cheeks in it, and it rips his face apart, but he is still standing, albeit bloody.
Oh,
One thing that you've noticed, and in fact all of you have begun to notice about these people you're fighting, when you do hit them, and when they're fighting you, they don't seem to react as you would expect them to. There's no grunts or cursing or reaction to any pain. It's just a blank face whenever they take any sort of hit or anything like that.
Unsettling.
Yeah.
Unsettling.
Flatlayer.
I duck back kind of down behind my bar cover.
Okay, nice.
And
all
I'll
right.
do my turn.
Kosh, you're up.
Okay, so I guess the first thing, and you can tell me I was take an action. Do I see any reasonable way to get onto the roof, at all?
No, not from where you are. You can see this building has doors and windows and stuff like that, where there's no stairs you can see or a ladder that you can climb up, at least from these sides of the building.
Okay. And then the next thing is, if I want to run after that mage down this like side alleyway here, am I gonna have to run through this guy's kind of like area of combat?
It depends which route you go. If you move within his like 5 feet square, then he might take an opportunity to attack against you.
Okay, so I'll actually just start off my turn by shooting him. Actually,
Okay.
I'll
All right.
just kind of turn around and fire a blast of energy at him, and that is a 24.
Okay. That'll hit, unsurprisingly.
We do all remember that we're level 1, right? Are we meant to roll like sub 10 all the
Bloody
time?
high rolls, like.
Hey, Rich has been beast now. I've rolled like
Rick-
16s, 17s, and 19s so far. It's
Dude,
great.
I threw a 15 at first, but this mage guy is OP. He just
I mean,
he
to be
didn't-
fair, I crossed out all the low numbers on my dice. I'm not sure if that's allowed.
I think it's karma for session 0's terrible rolls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen my tweets, in session 0 we fought a giant crab, and we took, guys, what was it, like 10 rounds of combat to kill it?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
It
a
was
lot.
absurd. This crab went under like 20 attacks. It was ridiculous.
Okay, so 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage. Okay. So as he's still sort of reeling from the blast of ice he took from Talora, you just raise your gauntlet and just blast him right in the face with it, and his whole face just caves in. And that smirky grin he has on his face, he just completely wiped off as he just kind of flops onto the ground.
Turn to Talora. See, we make a good team. I'll shout, and then I'll sprint down the alleyway.
As he's sprinting, I roll my eyes.
That's a bonus action.
That's her reaction. So yeah, I guess I'll just take off running, and then you can tell me whether or not I can do this. I'm just gonna start shouting at that. Hey, ugly down here.
Okay. You can start shouting that.
Okay, yeah, I just and I reload,
You reload. Okay.
and then that's my turn.
All right. So now it's back to these guys. So, first things first. This the one on the roof. He is going to try and take a shot at you, Kosh. So that is a 15 total,
Minus a D4.
minus a D4. You're right.
Just
Hey guys,
kidding.
Azorius Cleric. I love it because you're Azorius, so you can actually rules lawyer, and it's role playing.
And
Well,
so
I
I
have
rolled
to
a
make sure.
I rolled a 4 on that, so that brings it down to 11 total. And that's against you, Kosh. Does that hit?
No.
No. Okay. All right. He's going to stay up on the roof. Then this Orzhov dressed woman, she's going to seeing you duck underneath that awning, Azir, she's going to close the gap towards you, and she's going to swing at you.
Oh no.
So that's a 21 total.
Jeez.
Yikes.
So I take it that hits.
Yeah. Well, it's my armor class, right? I'm
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
that hits.
7 total, but you are raging, so it's slashing damage. So you do take half from that. So 3
3.
damage. Yes.
Alright.
Damage.
Because we roll down in D&D. We round down.
Yay.
And then the Azorius guy, he is going to move towards you, Reg,
All right.
and take a swing at you. And he rolls a 15 total.
That does not hit.
That does not hit.
I'm a
Man, I'm
resilient
rolling.
gobbo.
All right. Yes, that's the end of their turn. Okay, Daru, you're up.
So I totally had a plan for after the battle, and you guys are gonna get to deal with that afterward.
Great.
But, I think things weren't supposed to. People's faces weren't supposed to explode. Just saying. I am going to. I think I might just stay where I am. Yeah, I'm gonna stay where I am and shoot off. I'm not shooting off, but I'm gonna go and hit them with a sweet sacred flame.
Okay.
I love
So
the
that-
spell
that-
cards.
The archer
You
on
get
top.
+1 on your rolls just for effort.
I have like all of them. 'cause
Oh,
I'm
you
very
babe.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow.
what a guy.
I want to be able to cast all of the spells. No.
Okay.
So that is a dex save minus the d4.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Combo. Hit him, come to him with the bane, and then make him do his thing.
Well, that brings it down to a 9. Which
that's a fail.
That's a fail. Okay.
Yeah. I just have to do basic math. They take 5.
5 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that is my turn.
Okay. All right. So, the Boros guard that's fleeing right down the street, he's just out of there. He is gone, and you can't even see him anymore. He just flees around the corner. The one that's left, though, he is
The one next to me, right?
yes, kind of crowded in here, and he's seen you kind of yelling. He's not 100% sure exactly what's going on here now that he's kind of surrounded or people are dying around. So let's see what he's going to decide to do. Okay. He's a little intimidated by the yelling goblin, so he's going to take a swing at you, Reg.
Right.
Uh-oh.
But it misses, thankfully, and it just sinks into the stonework next to you, and he's just yelled out, "Please, get away!" As he's kind of shuffling back. But he's going to stay where he is.
You slap
Can I
him,
use
please?
a reaction?
What would you like to do with your reaction?
Just scrape some like grime off my armor where there's a Boros patch.
Okay, sure, yeah, you can do that.
I'll scrape
Okay,
that. I'll be like, "Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. I'll allow it." I'll give it a little clap on the shoulder.
Okay, you see his kind of
I'll
eyes
like
look
duck
at
under his swing and then just like clap him.
Okay, all right, sure. Okay, so these two figures on the roof, well, I don't think any of you could see them anymore, actually.
No, I think they've gone over the roof, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you've lost line of sight on them, and for all intents and purposes, they are gone now. So, Reg, it's back to you.
Right. I'm gonna again. I'll just clap this guard on the shoulder and be like, "That's all right, mate. Don't worry. We won't mention this later." And I'll draw my rusty sword and swing it at the. What is the guy to the south of me dressed like? Like the guys who.
Azorius.
Okay, yeah, I'm fucking. Oh, Reg, I'd love to take a swing at him. Right, I'll take a swing at that lawyer-making little silly boy. I don't reckon he's one of them, but I'm up for a game. I'll swing at him. And that is going to be a. Sorry, let me just check my sword attack. Okay, that is a. I roll like a god. That's an 11, so 16 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Alright, this is a d6, so... Another 5! So that's 8, and he's a humanoid, right? Let me just check if my favorite enemy works on melee. It does, right? Yeah, damage rolls with weapons. Yeah, so that's another 10 damage.
Jesus.
Holy moly.
You are killing everything.
We're just gonna all stand here while Reg does all the work.
Don't worry, me boys! Reg just got him!
So where there's kind of a joint exposed, just underneath his armpit, you just sink your blade deep into the side. Yeah, you just give him the stab, and his blood starts pooling out, and he kind of yelps out and grabs at the wound, but he's still standing.
Right. I will, No, I'll stay where I am, and I'll turn to the Boros guard next to me like, "Right, get behind me, kid. Get to a safe distance."
You just see this kind of look of fear and shock in his eyes. He's just not really registering anything beyond this point.
All right. I'll still, I know that obviously I can't be between, but I'll try to reasonably place myself between the guy attacking and him.
Okay, sure.
At least, like keeping it with my sword or something like.
Okay.
Bridging the gap.
Azaris, that's you. What are you got?
All right. So this wench in front of me hit me, didn't she?
Yes,
Slowly wench.
Gonna pay for that.
Okay.
Right. So I whip out my sword. I mean, my axe. I don't have a sword. I have a battle axe. And I'm gonna take a swing at her, and hopefully hit her in the face.
Okay.
With my battle axe, we're gonna do two-handed, because why not?
Just his reaction there.
Why do you guys keep
Up the face?
Why? What?
Never mind.
No, I'm gonna have words at the end of this.
The Azorius
Alright.
guy's just like, so much paperwork.
Boris just need a reason for a fight. I rolled a natural
Right, mate.
15 plus the 5, so 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
I'm pretty sure I hit her. Cool. And then 1d10 plus 3. Where's my d10? This one.
It's the one with 10 sides.
Yeah, I had to count them earlier, and then I realized they had numbers on them.
How many numbers? How many sides did you get to before you realized they were numbered?
She got to 9.
3.
She was like, oh.
All right. Okay, so I rolled a natural 3. So plus the 3 with a battle axe, that's 6, and then plus 2 for my rage.
Okay, so 8 total.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you just swing your axe kind of overhead and just smash it down deep onto her shoulder, and she kind of crumples down a bit before kind of wrestling it back out. But she's still standing.
All right. Then I have a ability.
Okay.
Immediately after you hit a creature with a melee attack, as part of the attack action on your turn, you can use bonus action to attempt to shove the target with your horns.
Okay.
I would like to attempt to shove her.
Okay. What do you need from me? I think I have to make some sort of check for
Let me check. The target, plonk it in there. The target must be no more than one size larger than you within 5 feet, unless it succeeds on a strength saving throw against a DC equal to 8+ your proficiency plus strength modifier.
Okay. So she rolls a total of 9. So that's going to be, so how much, she moved back 10 feet. Yeah, so you just swing your head down and just ram your horns right into her side, and she is just flung back 10 feet away from you.
That's so awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
That is so cool.
And then I could still do a movement if I want to, right?
Yeah, you've still got your movement left.
Reg, do you need a hand over there?
Oh, I reckon a hand's always welcome.
All right, so I'm going to move towards Reg.
Don't want you to miss out.
I'm going to move here. Let me leave some space for Kosh. I'm going to move. Whoop, where are you? There you are. Here.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that's my turn.
Okay, Talora, back to you.
All right. I'm gonna hop out from behind the bar, kind of just go right in front of it. I'm not going too far, just on the other side of it, basically.
Okay.
And I see the person flying from Azeris across the way, and I'm gonna charge up a ray of frost, and shoot it at that person as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Gotta get my bonuses up. Let's see here. 17? I rolled a 17.
17. Okay, yeah, that hits. So roll damage.
All right. 4 damage.
4 damage.
4 cold damage.
Yeah, that's going to do it. So as she's not flung through the air. She stumbles back quite a bit, and so she's kind of regaining her balance. Your blast of ice just kind of hits her right in the chest, and she is knocked back and down. Anything else?
I think I'm just gonna go up against like the building, but I'm gonna stay kind of near where I am.
Sure. Okay. All right. Kosh, you're up.
Okay, you can tell me whether or not I can do this. Can I run 30 feet further up the street?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, that would put me like right on the edge of the map, effectively.
Okay. Well, if you want to use your regular movement first, and then I'll tell you what happens when you try to dash. Or if
well, actually, I don't want to dash like first.
Okay.
I just want to know what happens after I sprint 30 feet.
So as you kind of get to the end of this alley, it branches off into a T-junction. Well, it's not a road, but you know what I mean. There's a path to your left and to your right, and in front of you is another building. To your right, you can look down the alley, and there's not really much. It's kind of muddy and dirty. You can see a ladder up the side of the building that leads up onto the roof that you saw those 2 figures on. But to your left, you see more Boros Legionnaires and a large Minotaur amongst them stamping towards you. What would you like to do?
How far away is the ladder from me?
It's probably about let's see. It's probably about 30, 35 feet.
So I couldn't actually get up the ladder this turn.
No.
Son of a bitch. Well, I have to call an audible. All right. I'm going to use... Okay, I guess I'll just turn around and attack the guy in front of Reg.
Okay.
For a 13.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to hit if you want to roll damage.
Okay. 11 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Reg, you hear a large blast come from behind you, and this bolt of almost pure white energy just comes zooming past your shoulder and smashes into the chest of this guard, and his whole chest, or not guard even, this figure, his chest crumples and he falls back onto the ground. But
bloody wizards.
and then as that happens, I shout, "I'm an engineer!" And then I'm gonna turn to the Boros guys and I'm just gonna wave at them.
So as you,
how do you do?
well, as soon as you fire off the blast, the Minotaur figure raises his hand and says, "Hold! Stop, citizen! In the name of the Boros Legion."
Uh-oh.
But that will come back to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. So we
Monkey
got
ass.
one guy left on the rooftop. Let's see if he can clutch this. I don't think he can, but
Daru is
he's gonna
just like,
try.
there's so much civil damage.
Okay.
Just,
All right,
just
he
sitting
is-
there holding his head the whole time.
Okay, gonna go for you, Azaris.
Oh dear.
So that is a 16 total.
I am 16. Does that hit me?
Yeah, I need to hit your AC or above. Anything
okay.
below, and you dodge it, or your armor absorbs the brunt
All
of
right,
it.
so my AC is 16. Does my rage affect my AC?
No, it doesn't affect your AC, but you will take less damage from
Okay,
whatever
yeah.
this person gets.
Okay,
So-
then yeah, he hits.
Okay, so it's a 5 total, halved to 2.5, and then rounded down 2. So you take 2 piercing damage from that.
All right.
But this guy's he's still staying up on the roof, and he's just kind of looking down at you, and he's quite happy seemingly where he is. So it's back to you, Darren.
Oh, once again, I'm gonna shoot a sacred flame at
All right.
at the fiddler on the roof there.
Begrudgingly.
Okay.
It's not real fire. It is radiant damage. I just want to point that out.
Okay, it's not real fire. Okay.
There is no insurance risk here.
Does he put disclaimers on all
Azorius
his
said it,
attacks?
make sure.
Okay, so it was a charisma saving throw, yeah?
Dex save minus the D4.
Okay. So that is a 17 total, which I believe passes, does it?
Yeah, it does.
He doesn't take half damage, he just negates all damage, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, he just succeeds all of it.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
Nope.
Wasn't fiery enough.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, so this Boros guy, seen all manner of things happen very quickly. The merfolk woman smashed into the wall next to him. People being hit in the face with shards of ice, and this goblin now, who seemingly tries to protect him, he's just going to clutch at his blade and kind of gradually shuffle back and press himself against the wall as he kind of stares nervously around. But he's not going to do anything else. So it's back to you, Reg.
Right. Well, I reckon that I will go ahead and take a little shot up at this lad on the roof.
All right.
How far is that? Let me check. 30 feet, I should be good. Right, well. Okay, that's an 11 to hit.
I'll hit.
That hits, alright.
That hits, yeah.
I'll take it. I'm not gonna
You're
do
level 1. The enemies are supposed to be a little bit easier to hit if it wasn't for the case that I know everyone's been rolling like teens or higher.
Alright, that's
Got a lot of crappy rolls on last week. Hee
3, 3, and 2. Okay, that's 8 points of damage.
All right. Okay. Well, that's going to do it. But I'm going to roll to see if he falls forward and off the roof, or just kind of crumples and falls backwards.
Off the roof.
What is that?
Okay,
A
That's
death
a-
dexterity saving throw?
Not a dead guy.
All right. So that's a
He's
natural.
gonna like
20, so-
explode when he hits the ground. It's gonna
That's a natural 20, so he does a flip.
He so your arrow sinks deep into his stomach, and he kind of arcs over as it does, and as he slowly falls forward, he just tumbles off the roof and crashes through the roof of the awning, and there's a loud crash before he's still.
Right.
But
I'll use the rest of my turn to. What is this? This guard here, the one next to me. What is this guy looking like?
He has you can see a large wound, kind of, in the clavicle, I think it's called, in your shoulder.
Here, yeah.
There's a large wound there, and there's just blood pooling all around him. But are you wanting to try and help him?
Yeah, just kind of run over and see if I can do anything to help him, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll bring us out of combat now, seeing as all the enemies are dealt with.
I just want to crouch over and go, it's only a tickle, lad. You'll be fine. Old Reg will patch you up.
Okay.
I'm gonna gesture at the others like, help.
Okay. All right. Well, first things first, before anyone else can do anything, Reg, if you want to give me a medicine check.
Old Reg is a master of the band-aid, mate. Right. Let's give him some cowpaw. What's my medicine? Well, yeah, spare the bloody dying, mate. I like it. Right. That is a... Believe it or not, that is a natural 20 on my medicine.
Oh, boy.
God.
Reg's tender healing touch.
Stroke the face.
Okay.
A little bit of muck.
You do, because of your...
all the things to 20 on for Reg.
Well, you begin to immediately try and minister aid to this guy, but immediately, upon looking down, from a wound like this, he was dead in seconds. The blood loss was too much, and there's nothing left to stem. He is...
I'll close his eyes and... sorry about that, lad. I'll take his... If he has one visible, I'll take his Boros medallion as well.
Okay. So before we get to everyone else, Kosh, these Boros Legionnaires come standing towards you. So you see a large minotaur coming towards you. Well, even for a minotaur, compared to a small one. What I was going to say is, even for a minotaur, this guy is big. You've seen a lot of minotaurs throughout the city. This guy takes the biscuit in terms of girth. He is massive.
You can't be doing this on accident, can you?
You see, there's a lot. Maybe that was poor word choice, but you get paints a good picture, doesn't it?
We do wear pants, thank you very much.
Okay. So I've got the giggles now. Okay. So he comes stomping towards you, and he's getting closer. He's got the large two-handed sword strapped to his back, and you can see his horns. One of them's broken off, but doesn't appear to be a recent scarring. And as he walks up, he's saying, "Hold it right there, citizen." And to the rest of the soldiers, he turns to them and, "Fan out. Hold everyone in place." And the rest of you now see Kosh, hands raised. Are you actually raising your hands?
Yeah, this is a little extreme, fellas, don't you think?
Okay. You see all these soldiers file past you, and the rest of you out in the street kind of like dusting yourselves off, picking yourself back up. See all these Boros Legionnaires kind of fan out and begin to kind of look around and stuff like that.
Do I recognize any signifiers of rank on him or anything?
On the Minotaur?
On the Minotaur, yeah.
Yeah, you see on his shoulder he has the badge of a sergeant.
Okay.
So as soon as I noticed that the last enemy was down, the plan was to go to everyone, including the enemies, and cast Spare the Dying on them.
Okay.
To try and spare the dying. No, some of them have their faces exploded, so I'm going to ignore those ones.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I would like to attempt to save as many as I can.
Okay.
And of course, handcuff the ones that were enemies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Get away.
Handcuffs.
So, is anyone helping Deru kind of check on these bodies?
No,
or anything
I'd be looking over the two Boros guards. Once I realized that this one was unsavable, I'd probably go to the other one that got cut down just to check.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go to the other one while he's checking that one.
Okay.
Oh, now the Boros cares about casualties. Oh, cool.
There's wondering where to
look
stack
after
the
you,
bodies.
you stuffy sod.
Okay. All right. So out of all the ones that you come across, the two Boros Legionnaires, unfortunately they have passed, and there doesn't seem to be any hope for them. The enemies dressed in all these different robes and vestments of the guilds, almost all of them have already passed away, but two of them, the woman dressed in the Orzhov vestments and the Selesnya one, both of them are still up. Or at least, not up, but you can stabilize them, with Spare the Dying.
Cool.
And do you want to cuff them? Both of them? Okay. All right. Is anyone else
going into a tirade about how the Legion the Legion doesn't teach basic de-escalation tactics?
I wonder, well, with our way, they don't come back, mate.
Yeah. Much less paperwork if there's less bodies to do.
Much less dead fucking youngins as well.
Talora and Azarius, what did you guys say you were doing? Were you just...
I went to check on the bodies.
Okay.
Of the other Boris guy. And I think my attention then turns to the Boris Legion. Do I recognize any of them that are approaching?
You don't, but Reg does. Reg does recognize this this Minotaur figure. He is a little bit famous in the city. He's known as quite a rough and tumble guy, even for the Boros Legion. His name is Sergeant Gostock, and he's yes. You've served under him before, and he has always been impressed with you, Reg. He's taken it upon himself to be a bit of a mentor figure to you. And as he kind of walks up to you and recognizes you, he says, "Reg, well, as I live and breathe."
I look at, all right, Sarge. Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance here. Looks like we lost a couple of the boys.
Yes, it seems that way. All right, men, fan out, all of you. And he points to you, Kosh, Deru, Azares, and Talora. Bring it in here, front and center.
I'll while he's doing that, I'll go, right, hang on, Sarge, hang on. I know, obviously, of course, but this lot, they helped put this down. They're good lads, they are. And I'll gesture at the party.
Okay. So Gostock looks at each of you and kind of looks at you each up and down before saying, "Well, I appreciate the help on this one. Would you mind telling me what happened to you?"
Well,
we're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, we just heard the clamor of fighting. We ran in, but I think we were a bit too late for a couple of them.
Did you see anyone get away on the rooftops? Anything? You have scouts, probably. No one could leave the city without you guys knowing, right?
Gostock says, "Well, the city's pretty big, mate. Don't think anyone could really leave it if they wanted to."
Well, you probably have a perimeter, something established, right? So no one could just walk out of here willy-nilly.
On the day of the festival, people come and go as they please on the day of old days.
Well, what about when there's an attack? I mean...
Well, this was quite unexpected. I'd appreciate if you keep that tone to yourself.
The guy I was in charge of, who specifically asked me to not guard him for a bit, went and got himself kidnapped by some magic guy with weird finger powers, and now I'm stuck with these guys, and I don't even really know them.
Well, it's an interesting picture, but it's a little convenient that he gets captured when you're not guarding him. Hold it right there.
What's that supposed to mean?
He doesn't say anything. But as you see, another Boros person runs up, kind of a younger guy, but he's not wearing any armor, just basically a tunic bearing the legions, and he looks down and whispers into Gostock's ear. And you just see Gostock's eyes suddenly widen in surprise by whatever's just been whispered to him. And he says...
well, just as a side note, Craig.
Sure.
Because I'm a variant human, I do have the feat observant. So if I can see what they're saying, I would be able to read their lips. But I don't know, obviously you would know how secretive they were being.
Yeah,
it was more... that feat.
Well, all right.
Wait, really?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Bloomin' heck. All right. Okay. So both of you,
Spoilers.
both of you hear this Boros guy whisper to Gostok's whisper in Gostok's ear, Valden's coming. So none of you recognize that name though.
Okay.
But Gostok kind of looks up and looks around it and he says, "Right, everyone, pull it in. Get the sucker ship shape. You lot, help us with the bodies. Stack them up."
Right.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to go over to that big monster who is telling us what to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm essentially going to start berating him for not training his people to use non-lethal force, especially during a festival time.
So whilst you're berating him, he kind of holds up a large meaty paw in your face and says, "Hold it there, little man."
Ooh.
But yeah, does anyone else have anything they want to do?
I'll when I see Daru kind of like berating him, I'll give a little tug on Daru's elbow to try and get him to turn away.
Okay.
I follow orders, so I'm going to start grabbing the bodies. I'd like to check them out, see if there's anything weird, because
Okay.
they behave like normal bodies do.
Okay. Reg, Talora, and Kosh, are you guys helping with the bodies? Or are you just
No,
gonna
I'm
stand?
trying to pull Daru away, like I said.
Oh.
I'm kind of tugging his elbow.
I'm just gonna kind of like, sort of like nudge one of the bodies, kind of give it like a look over. I'm not actually helping them
Okay.
pick up the bodies. I'm just kind of inspecting it.
Okay, I'll come back to you and Azarius in a second. And Talora, what are you doing?
I kind of like walk up to one of the dead bodies, like while everybody's kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
paying
a little bit of
attention.
activity.
Looks like we
going on
got a
around.
looter, boys.
Yeah.
No. I was gonna say I was actually just like staring at the body surprised because as my background, like I wouldn't be used to seeing dead people, probably a lot. So I'm kind of like
Sure.
shocked more than anything. So I'm just like
Okay.
I was kind of like just examining it in that sense.
Okay. Kosh, I'll come back to you first. So you were just looking at the dead person, really. So you don't recognize them or anything like that. They're just seem like any other person you would pass on the streets of Ravnica. This one that you're looking at is the Azorius guy. And he just looks like a normal guy. Apart from obviously the gaping wound that you left in his chest. And it's still kind of smoking and fizzling.
I'm gonna give myself a nice nod for my handiwork, and then readjust my cloak. But specifically, actually, what I wanted to do is I wanted to cast Detect Magic. Actually,
Okay.
While I'm just kind of it does take me a minute to do, but I just want to start doing that.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a second then. As Ares searching the bodies, you rifle through their pockets, search their clothes, that sort of thing. You don't find, surprisingly, any money. You would think anyone kind of walking the streets would have a few coins in their pocket, but there's nothing on this person. Their weapon is kind of a slim blade. It is a sword, it's not quite a rapier, but at the hilt, just above there, it's sort of like a basket handle, but above the hilt, there is a small stamp on it, which is an anvil with kind of flames around it. Almost like the person who's made it, like a brand or something like that.
All right. Interesting.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of examining all the bodies, doing whatever you can to help out, that sort of thing, another figure begins to approach the scene. He's dressed in a long black jacket with a hood affixed. It's a human figure. He has bright ginger hair that's kind of swept to the side and shaved at the edges. And he has a goatee with like a curled up mustache and quite a bit of hair on the chin. You see hanging at the side a slim rapier and then another sheath dagger down by his ankle. And he kind of walks up towards Gostok, and you can probably most of you can overhear him say, "Well, looks like quite an adventure today, Gostok. Yes, sir, you're not wrong, but these folks here seem to help clear it up." So Valden turns to all of you and says, "Are any of them still alive?"
And I point to the ones I saved while I continue to rate the Boros Legion on their lack of good training.
Okay.
I'm just like turbo tugging the elbow now.
Okay. So Valden looks at you, Darren, and kind of like turns his head to one side before he looks at both of the figures lying on the ground. Before he kind of takes a good look at one, and then the other, and then he kind of settles on the Orzhov one and pulls her up, and then just kind of gives her a few slaps around the face until she kind of comes back around. And he says to Gostock, "This one will do. I'll take her with me."
Yeah, no.
Sorry, are you saying that to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying no.
So Valden looks at you and says, "I'm acting on behalf of the Guild Council." And this is something you've all heard of. The Guild Council are sort of the ruling body in the 10th district here. It's basically a conclave of the 10 guild leaders in the district who decide on any sort of business and rulings and decrees, that sort of thing. And people who act on their behalf generally have a little bit more authority and sway. So there you would know, for someone to say they're acting on behalf of the Guild Council, it's more, you would initially think maybe we should give him some space. But it's up to you what you do.
I'll tug on Daru's arm and just kind of, say to him, trying to just say to him, at least with my goblin hand, but I wouldn't mess with this level, mate. I don't reckon they're one for playing around.
I mean, essentially, I'm just going to start spouting off like codes, articles of the law.
And immediately, as soon as I see that, right, well, I tried.
Yeah, I'm standing behind him just to, no.
Okay.
Like, this is my witness, etc., etc.
So
I'm just sitting there wiping my blade off.
Okay. Valden deliberately kind of ignores you, and he points to two of the kind of Boros soldiers that came in with Gostock and says, "You two, take this one to the hall of the Guild Council for me." And then they move over and prop up the body between them. Well, not between them. They kind of lead her up onto her feet because she is still handcuffed. And they begin to actually escort her away. So Valden turns back to Gostock and just kind of gives him a silent nod. And then he looks at the rest of you, and then he just kind of whips his head around and starts to walk off.
Charming fellow.
What?
So Gostock kind of mutters something under his breath and then turns to the rest of you and says, "Well, if he didn't say it, I am grateful for the help you provided today."
Alright, mate.
Can I look at... Oh, I'm not there, I guess, still? Or did I eventually
You guys
get
are all sort of gathered around one area now. All the bodies have been kind of stacked together and a little less activity going on now.
Well, I look to him and I say, what the hell was that anyway?
The attack or Valden?
Yeah, no. Like, why are they attacking during the festival? Who is this?
Probably just some bloody Raknos lot.
Gostock chuckles when you say that, but he says, "I don't know. Maybe we can get to the bottom of it somehow." And at that, another figure enters the scene who kind of jogs up. And this is a figure wearing primarily grey robes. And on the back of the robes, you can all see the symbols of all 10 guilds are embroidered on the back of these robes in a circle. And the figure walks up to Gostock and says, "Are these the ones who helped in the attack?" And Gostock kind of leans down now and he just nods along and says, and the figure in grey now says to the rest of you, "You all need to come with me. The Guild Council wants to see you."
What have we gotten ourselves into now?
Oh boy.
Well, I only just turned up, really. I'm off for a roast chicken and a pint. Guess in a bit.
Are you trying to walk away here?
I'm trying to turn around.
Okay, Gostock kind of leans down and puts a hand on your shoulder, Reg, and says, "You'd better go with them."
Right, well, worth a try, I reckon. I'll turn back around.
Okay. All right. So, this figure in grey says, if you'll all follow me, I'll lead us to the halls.
Oh,
Do we have a choice in the matter?
Not really, no.
All right,
Never with these guys.
let's
Okay.
go then.
Okay. So, the figure starts to, or well, not the figure, the guy in grey robes leads you through the city now and back to the streets. There's still kind of a festival atmosphere, at least once you get a little bit beyond the attack. Not everyone's heard of it. But for most of you, it's put a little bit of a dampener on the day's festivities. So eventually, you guys are brought before a large building. So the building itself is rectangular, but shaped in the center of it is a large circular dome. Think of like the Capitol building. And there's large stone steps that lead up to it, and several guards are around the main building itself, lining the staircases leading up. But all the guards, and you recognize them all as the people who are tasked with guarding the guild council.
Are they Boros Legion? No.
They are guildless,
Okay.
or at least the word on the street is that they are chosen
Hmm.
from a variety of all 10 guilds for people who show promise or great martial prowess, and then there are whisperings that they go through some sort of process to ensure their loyalty. But what exactly that is, we don't know. But
Okay.
generally they are seen as a neutral party in the city of Ravnica, or at least in the 10th district.
Okay.
And most of them, in fact, all of them are adorned in kind of what looks like bronze or gold armor, and they're all wielding long-bladed polearms. And once again, on the blade of the polearm, engraved alongside it is all 10 symbols of the guilds, kind of along the edge of the blade. But this figure in grey robes leads you up now to the main door, which this one is also engraved with all 10 symbols of the guild. It's kind of a running theme in this building. And you all know you're outside the halls of the guild council. This is kind of where you may have passed it on the streets before, but in fact, none of you have ever entered here before. So, as you guys enter, the area you're in is kind of a large, open lobby almost. There's large pillars that kind of decorate the sides, and there's stone benches that go along the edges of the room. And you see more of these figures in grey robes wandering around, and all of them are dressed similar to the guy who's escorting you, with this kind of embroidered 10 guild symbols on his back. But it's a variety of different races. You see humans, elves, Viashino, Vidalkans, and even Minotaurs dressed in these robes. These are people who you know that serve the guild council.
Any goblins?
Yeah, there's a few goblins, yeah.
Hey, good lads.
But eventually the figure in grey robes leads you up to a large varnished wooden desk. And behind that desk is an elven man. He's got pale skin, he's quite thin, he's got long, pale, ink-stained fingers, and quite a pointed nose. But he's looking down at a ledger. And as you approach, he holds up a single finger, and the man in grey robe stops before him. Before the elven figure looks up, nods at the man in grey robes, and says to all of you, "Yes."
Well, we're at city council or some such.
Ah, yes. You were summoned. That is correct. They are in session right now, but if you will follow me, I will lead us there.
I'm going to turn to Daru. Right, you're right legal boy. What the bloody hell's going on?
This is out of my jurisdiction.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. Right. I'll start walking behind the cloak.
Okay. So as you guys are walking along, he turns to each of you and says, "You're about to be brought before the guild council. You will pay them respect at all times. There's no need to bow or to grovel, but respect must be shown. And there will be no casting of magic. Whatever you may think, we will know. But I warn you that you are not to speak out of turn." So eventually he leads you up to another set of double doors, and it's flanked by more of these neutral guards. But this door it looks like it's cast in bronze and is large and heavy. And he nods at the guards as he approaches, and they reach forward and swing the doors open. And you all enter. So you are now in a small little stone alcove. And 1 second, let me change the music here.
Ooh.
Jewel of the Fates starts playing. Uh-oh.
I knew this sounded an awful lot like the Senate.
And Helm's Deep.
Okay, so you guys are in this short little walled path. It's kind of grey stone. There's a short path that leads up till you can see a large circular chamber in front of you, and there is bright light shining down onto the center of it. You can't make out really anything beyond that light. It's quite bright, and you can't really see anything at the edges of it. But in the center of the light, you recognize the figure there as Valden once again. And this time, he's still got those 2 Boros Legion guards with him, and once again, that prisoner draped between him. But you see him, he has his hand raised before this prisoner, and there's kind of a blue light shining, and there's almost, it looks like streams of light coming out of her head towards the palm of his hand, where this kind of blue orb is gathered. And he kind of clasps his hand together and shakes his head and looks up at the shadows, basically, and says, "There's nothing to be gleaned from this one. We've done all we can. It seems like her mind's been, well, wiped, for lack of a better word. There's no memories. I can't find anything." So after he says that, you hear a voice coming out of the shadows that just says, "We thank you for your service, Valden. You may go now, and take her with you." And you also hear another voice chime up from seemingly another direction of the chamber that says, "And toss her into the span of atonement, where she belongs." So, just a little aside, Deru, Zaris, and Red, you would all know what the span of atonement is. It's a bridge with prison cells that hang off the edge. So, that's where some of the worst criminals in Ravnica are normally kept.
Just a side note, would I have ever read about that?
You might have seen it yourself. It is in the 10th district, but it's a fairly recent and controversial addition to the city, because it wasn't initially an idea by the Azorius themselves. It was kind of put forward by the Guild Council as a whole, and it seemed as a bit too far for justice or meting out any sort of punishment on prisoners, because they're essentially exposed to the elements whilst hanging off the edge, or they're in cages off the side of this bridge. But that's another point to come back to later. So the prisoners escorted off by these Boros Legionnaires, and Valden looks up into the shadows once again and says, "My lords and ladies, I thank you for your time, and please feel free to reach out to me if you need me ever again." And he gives a short bow and a small flourish, and he turns around and begins to step out towards you. As he's walking past you all, he gives you all a sharp little grin and a nod as he walks by all of you.
I give him a little winkle with the gauntlet hand.
I give him a very wary kind of look.
Same. I just kind of watch him as he goes out.
Sure.
I'm a little bit on edge here.
Okay. Well, most of you would be. This is a big deal to be brought before them. But the figure, or not the figure, sorry, the man in the clerk who led you all up turns to each of you and says, "You can step forward now."
I would wait for... Well, I'd be looking at Deru, but I would wait for someone else to step forward.
I'll step forward.
I would step forward probably immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you all make your way into the center of this chamber, and towards basically where this beam of light seems to shoot down. As you get closer, you all take a kind of a good look around the chamber, but most of it is complete darkness outside of this single kind of column of light that shines down to the center onto a raised platform. There doesn't seem to be any sort of natural source for this light. There's no hole in the roof or windows or anything like that. It seems to come from somewhere else, at least. But you all step into the center, and as you do, you can all see just on the edges of your vision the 10 draping flags go all the way around each of you. And each flag is adorned with the 2 colors of each guild, and then the guild symbol in the center. And looking just up above each one, you can see a platform, like 10 individual platforms above each of the 10 individual flags. You hear a voice call out from the one above the Azorius flag. And it says, hold on. We thank you for your service today. You have done well, and we appreciate the help you rendered in stopping that attack. We wish to hire each of you to investigate further the exact reasoning for what took place today. We have several leads we'd like you to follow up, but before we get to that, we would like to know a little bit more about who each of you are. So, please, a little bit about each of yourselves, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'll
I would
first.
skulk to the back quietly.
I'll
I'm
step forward
skulking.
first. I am Sarah Stonehoof. I am a member of the Boros Legion. My father and his father before him have served loyally, as do I.
I'll step up next to Asarius. Say, my name is Kosh. I'm a member of Izzet, and I would like to know what leads you have on the kidnapping of Master Imbert.
That will come in time, young man. But that's it, nothing else.
I was gonna say, is he gonna say anything else?
Fine. Then I'm Kosh.
Okay. So, Talora, do you go to speak next?
Before I say really anything, I look up and I'm like, why us? Don't you have people for this thing?
No questions, please. We will come to that in a moment.
Dancing monkeys.
The name is Talora Silvertide.
As you start to speak, Talora, a voice chimes out to your right, above where the Simic symbol is, and the voice says, "This one is known to us. She does not need to say anything else." Before another voice chimes out towards the back left of the group, above the Demir symbol, and this voice says, "You may know them, but we do not. Go ahead, girl."
I like tense up when they say that. I'm like, ooh. My name is Talora Silvertide of the Simic Combine. I am a newcomer to the outside of Ravnica. That's all.
Okay, just silence meets your words after you explain who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give Dara a pat on the back and be like, "You first, mate."
My arms have been crossed this entire time, and I just look down at Reg and just...
All right. Well, I'll step forward and say, "Whoa, my name's I'm gonna actually, Craig. First, can I look at the Boros pillar? Do I recognize anyone on it, or can I not see them?
Make a perception check.
All right. Let me just get my perception. It's a 3. Okay. Okay. 22, 19 on the roll.
Nice. Real nice. Okay. So looking at the Boros symbol is off to your right, and looking along the flag and then up the top, you see this platform, and you can just make out the silhouette of a figure standing at the top. The silhouette actually has large wings at the back, which you would probably associate with being an angel.
I imagine I would.
And also, strangely looking at the silhouette, you almost get the absurd notion to kneel. But you manage to stop yourself before you completely do that.
I just fixate on the Boros pillar and try to tunnel in on that. I just say, "Right, well, Reginald Two Scars is the name. Proud member of the Boros Legion. Ain't much more than that to say. I'm a bit below all this, to be honest.
Once again, just silence, screech your words.
Right, well, that went down well. I'll step back.
I thought you were a natural.
Oh, I'm a natural at many things, mate. This ain't one.
Clearly.
I look over to the location of the Azorius banner, with my arms still folded. Pretty much, I just say, "My name's Daru," although I'm certain you know that. I assume I don't know who's behind the thing, but knowing the Azorius, I assume my name is just like known because of the bureaucracy.
Sure. Are you? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, I have a great deal of paperwork to do and families to contact.
Okay. So, as you step back, Daru, the voice above the Azorius symbol chimes up again. We thank you for that. You must understand caution is required in these times. Initially, you asked why we would hire you rather than use our own people. Well, you're a varied group, aren't you? Seem keen to help those in need. And we are in need. But we need people that are not known in this city to carry out this investigation for us. There are several leads that we wish for you to follow, but we will not give you the details of those ourselves. There is a man we wish for you to meet with, a person we normally hire for this kind of work, and you'll be put into his care for the duration of this investigation. What we want to know is why this attack took place, who is responsible, and if you can recover the Izzet mage who was captured today. The man you will be serving under is named Gelder Petrock. The clerk will show you the way to his place of business. But that is all from us. You may go.
Sorry, Craig, is that like Gelder?
Gelder.
Okay, cool. Just for my notes. I'm a good boy, I take notes.
Okay. So, what are you all doing now?
I'll give a very over-the-top bow and like really fling the arm
Yeah,
out.
I'd give a very,
And then I'll-
very
And then I'll
nervous
swing
bow.
the other arm out and I'll say, "Well, it's been a pleasure. Until next time." And I'll turn
I
to
would,
leave.
I'll turn to, the two I saw using magic, which I guess would be Daru and Talora, actually. And, I'll be like, right, somebody bloody clean me up. Jeez.
Alright.
I give him an intense stare down, and I cast prestidigitation on him and clean him up.
Is that no
Right.
magic?
I'm not gonna lie, that felt alright, that did. I'm gonna be looking at my new shiny armor like, ooh.
When
Talora, did you cast that in?
yeah, when
Oh,
As-
bloody! I'm gonna run.
Talora, as you go to cast prestidigitation on Reg, blue light fizzes off between your hands, and the spell does not take any effect. But what you do hear actually is a kind of a high-pitched chuckle coming off from where the Cult of Rakdos symbol is, and you just hear them say, "Quite bold."
Alright.
I'll
take a look.
whip around to the Rakdos stand, and I wouldn't say anything, but I will glare into the distance.
Okay.
I have a question. Can I look at who's on? Do I recognize who's on top of the Simic one?
Okay, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Turtle roll. Let's go.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen. I'm rolling for something important. Oh, wait, hang on. 15. It's not bad.
15. Okay. So again, this figure is just an outline and a silhouette. So you can't see any kind of facial features that you would recognize. But in the shadows, you can see along their forearms and along their neck, there's kind of a low blue glow to them. And you would know that this would probably be where any sort of gills or fins would be. And they tend to glow slightly in the dark. But you don't really recognize anything other than that.
All right. I'll cast a cautious glance at everyone up in the balconies or whatever, and then I'll linger a little longer on the Boris one, just kind of looking, and then nod the head.
Okay. So does anyone have any final business in here before you all make your way out? Nope.
I'll head out before we get counterspelled even more.
Okay. So, stand at the doorway as you guys make your way out. It's the same figure who escorted you in, the clerk, and he looks up and down and says to all of you, "I think that went well. I've seen it go worse before. Don't worry. But I understand they've put you in the care of Gelder Petrock."
That's the name?
Okay. If you'll follow me, please. And he leads you back to the desk that he was sitting behind when you first came in. And he shows you a map of the 10th district, and he points with his finger towards a building and says, "That's where you'll find him. He knows to expect you. He will be able to instruct you further on what needs doing."
Sounds good.
I want to ask him a question.
Sure.
I'm all for good deeds, but are we getting paid for this?
That's your guild's business, not mine.
Right. Just checking.
Anything else?
Doesn't seem like we have much choice anyway.
No.
But those guys in there, you never have a choice.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Nearly got you in trouble back there. Do you mind clearing me up now? I'd rather not
We
be up
cannot
here
cast
in my
magic.
current state.
I was like, can we not cast magic in there? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I reckon.
Didn't
We're
they literally
outside
say
now.
to us, don't cast any magic in there?
I think you did, yeah.
They did.
I
I
did say
wasn't,
that, yes.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Right, that's out of you. When it comes. Anyway, do you
Right,
mind?
I actually do clean them up this time.
Right.
Okay.
Oh. Clean as the day I was born. Lovely.
Question. He smells less now? Yes?
Oh
Yeah, I'd
I'm,
say
I'm
so.
a sparkly
As
new
less,
goblin
as less
now.
as we can make him smell.
Cool. Just check.
So, what are you guys doing now?
I reckon we head on over to Geldar.
Yeah. Well, actually, what time of day is it?
It's early evening. The sun's just going down. You guys can kind of see there is windows in this kind of large chambered hall that you're in, and you can see just the sun going down at this time. So it's early evening.
Maybe we visit Gelder and then get some information, find somewhere to stay for the night, and then set out with new information and a fresh trail in the morning.
Sounds about
Sounds
right.
like a plan.
Okay,
Let's go meet a man named Gelder.
so you guys are all making your way to Gelder's now.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys make your way through the city. It's about 30 minutes walk or so, and it's generally on the halls of the guild council are in sort of the more wealthy areas of the city, and Gelder's is actually in sort of a lower area of the district, kind of slightly poorer, but still middle to lower class, I'd say. Until you guys eventually arrive outside the building you were instructed to go to. The building itself looks fairly simple. It's 2 stories. There's various windows lit up from inside, and there's a small wooden door just out front.
Right.
Okay. So, should we just walk up and knock? I feel like that should be fine, right?
Yeah, go on. I'll go up and give it a knock.
I'm assuming
Okay.
he's expecting us.
So you knock at the door, and then you hear a voice ring out behind. "Come on in, deities. Come on in."
All right. I'll open the
That's
door.
what I get for assuming.
I'll open the door and take a step inside.
Okay. So as everyone's going inside, yeah?
Yeah.
Follow.
Sure. Okay. So you guys enter into a room, obviously. The room itself looks quite lavish, actually. It kind of betrays the more simpleness of the outside. There are several chairs and couches throughout the room, very nicely upholstered. A coat rack is by the door on your left as you enter, and a roaring fire is on one side of the room. There are several wall hangings and ornaments along the sides, and there's curtains pulled over the windows, and they are quite plush looking as well. But directly in front of you, there's a staircase just to your front left, and then there's a wall, but a portion of it is cut out, and it forms a counter or a desk, and you see an elderly Loxodon woman looking up at you as you enter. And she says, come on in, and shut the door behind you, it's cold.
I shut the door behind me.
Yeah.
Well now, how can I help you today? And as you guys start to come in, you get a little bit of a better look at her. And she's quite elderly. Her face is more lined than most, and kind of the bristly hair along her trunk and the top of her head is kind of grey and white in places. She's got several shawls kind of wrapped around her shoulders, and along her quite large ears, there's various jewels and earrings hanging off. And then you also notice along her trunk, there's various bangles and bracelets wrapped around it.
Is there like a table or chairs anywhere?
There's kind of there's like various couches and chairs set up around the room, but nothing directly in front of the Loxodon woman.
Okay.
I guess we should introduce ourselves then. I'll walk up to her.
How can I help you then?
We're with the council. We were sent to find you.
Me?
Yeah, the
What would the council want with me? I assume it's Gelder you're looking for.
Elder, yes.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say.
I'm not Gelder. However,
This is the second time this is what I get for assuming things.
he is in his offices upstairs.
As I kind of like, she's about to talk, I look at Kash and I'm like, man, you're terrible with people, aren't you?
You know, you just wait. You've barely seen anything yet.
I can imagine.
Give her a wink.
Right. Don't worry. I've got a charisma of 10. I'm gonna turn to her and be like,
I don't know what that means.
right, where's old Gelder then?
As I said, he's in his offices upstairs. But
Right.
if you'll take a seat for a moment, I will see if he's available. I think he might be in a meeting. And she gets up from her chair and she moves off to just behind the counter, and you hear or you see her pull a small little bit of twine. She gives it like 2 sharp tugs. She waits for a few moments, and then there's 2 sharp tugs in return. And she says, he's available. So if you would like to make your way up the stairs, first door on your right.
Right. I'll start making my way up the stairs, I guess.
Okay.
Follow.
Yep.
All right. So, and are you all just going to the door
Yeah.
that you were instructed to? Anyone knocking, or are you just going straight in?
I'll knock on the door.
I think Reggie's in front. It's up to him.
You knock on the door. You hear a voice call out from behind the door. Aye, come on in.
Right.
Go in.
Well, yeah, I'll head in.
Okay. So you guys enter the room here. So this looks to be Gelder's office. It maintains the similar appearances of wealth and lavishness that downstairs did. The flooring is made up of like plush, thick carpet, and several chairs are arranged in front of a large desk. And the desk itself is quite expensive-looking varnished dark wood. There are several sheaths of paper and ink decorating the top, as well as a small lamp that gives off some faint light. A large fireplace takes up one corner with a table and chairs arranged in front. You can see there's like a small decanter and 2 glasses in front with an amber liquid in it. In another corner, there's a pair of double doors that seem to open out onto a balcony of some sort. And then there's a well-stocked drink cabinet as well, just to the right behind the desk. However, the man behind the desk looks up at you, and taking a look at him, you can see that he's bald and he has quite a thick grey mustache that kind of droops down past his lips. His face is quite well lined, and he's wearing a black waistcoat with a plain white shirt on underneath. And as you've all entered the room, there is kind of a faint whiff of tobacco about the place.
What is he?
He's a human man.
Okay.
Sorry, I always forget that part.
I just wasn't sure if it was
Just
like another
assume
Loxodon or
everybody's a Loxodon.
She says, how can I help you lot? Sent
We're
by
here
the
on-
guild council, I take it.
Right, you are, my man.
They're always sending strays my way, but I've got their message. Have a seat.
As they're talking, I'm going to start edging my way towards the drink cabinet. Just subtly sidestepping.
Okay, so
I'm gonna grab him on the shoulder.
Okay. All right.
I'll have a look around the room, just see what's on the walls. Are there like paintings or anything? Or?
Yeah, there's a few nice paintings, just of various sort of country scenes, and quite nice actually. Pleasant to look at. I guess what we would call motel art. Nothing that you would assume to be abstract or belongs in a museum, but
Okay.
nice enough to decorate a room like this.
Cool. Are there chairs?
Yeah, there's 3 simple chairs in front of the large desk.
All right.
Not enough for all 5 of you.
Mm-hmm. Rock, paper, scissors?
I'll sit down in the middle one.
Okay.
I'll stay standing.
I'm standing.
I will have a seat.
Okay.
I'll have a seat if there's a seat
Okay.
available.
I get comfy. Could be a long one. So, Guild Council sent you to me, and I got their message. And I bet you've got a bunch of questions. Well,
To say the least.
kind of a contentious time at the moment, but this seems to be up their priority list for some reason. And it doesn't strike me as that big a deal. But anyway, you've been sent to me, and I guess I'll be looking after you for a wee while. So,
When you say looking after, doing what exactly?
well, I'm not going to be babysitting. That's not what I mean. But I'll be keeping an eye on you guys while you go about the city, trying to find what's happened here. But before we get to what exactly my responsibilities will be, let's talk about what you lot will be doing. So, the attack today, there's a few leads from it that we'd like you to run down. And there's 2 at the moment, and we're working on a 3rd one. We may hear about that in a few days. But first of all, one of those people during the attack, they survived. Now, a man I know took a look for lack of a better word, took a look inside her mind. And he said he couldn't find anything, but if I know him, I think he might be playing another game behind the scenes. The prisoner's now been taken to the Span of Atonement, and I'd like you guys to go there and question her yourselves.
Just not to interrupt you, but Vitrak, was it? Something along those lines?
Valden,
Valden? Yeah,
Valden.
Valden.
the red-haired guy? Aye, him.
Yeah.
You met him?
Yeah, the cheeky bastard.
Bit of a
He
prick,
was-
isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
He flaunts his authority.
So, the council couldn't tell that he was, metaphorically screwing or literally screwing them over.
Well, the council likes Valden.
Aye.
He's more of an independent agent compared to me. There's myself, and then I have several others who work for me. They prefer to deal with those who work alone, but I've always felt it's better to have a few people you can trust along with you. But so the first thing I'd like you all to do would be to go and seek out this prisoner. And that's on the Span of Atonement.
Should be easy enough.
Are those the one that we just encountered, you mean?
Yeah. The one that survived. Well, I think there was 2.
2.
But, take a look into that. Second thing, the weapons that we recovered from the fight, I'll show you. And he kind of leans down behind his desk and he pulls out a blade and, was it Azaris who looked at the blade the first time? Yeah.
I saw the anvil.
You see him place it before all of you, and as he's pointing out that it's the same brand that you spotted before, the anvil surrounded by flames. It says, "We'd like to know the source of this blade. Whoever armed them might be able to glean some more information, and I recognize the stamp of that maker. There's a blacksmith's further in the city called Fire and Steel. They produce blades with that mark. I'd ask you all to go to that blacksmith's and find out who they sold those blades to.
Can do.
And that's the start. There's a third thing, but we'll come back to that tomorrow. I'm waiting to hear back from one of my agents. However, that's what I'd like you to investigate. But as I said, I'm sort of looking after you for the time being. So you'll be living here until this investigation's done with. I've got a few rooms here for you, and it's up to you how you divvy them up amongst yourselves.
How many? I was gonna say, how many?
3 rooms with 2 single beds in each. So one of you gets a room on his own. 2 of you are sharing, or 4 of you are sharing.
Oh, how do we determine that then?
That's up to you.
Yeah,
I like how we probably
can
all
figure
look
that out
around.
later. Yeah, we can figure that one out in a second.
Okay. Another
Anything
thing-
else?
Hi. There's a kitchen in here. That's out the hall to your right. Door at the end. You're welcome to use the pantry and the larder there as much as you want.
I would just like to point out, I snore really loudly.
Right, well,
And
looks
I
like
pointed-
Azaris has got the room on their own.
I
Yeah.
pointed to Reg. I'm like, who wants to sleep with that?
Delora, please, I do have feelings.
Yeah, I do insist, Reg. A shower would probably be nice every once in a
I've
while if we're
already
gonna
been
start
cleaned
traveling
up,
together.
thanks.
Look, I'm just saying, the prestidigitation was a good idea. It was a good start. Maybe a shower if we're gonna travel together. Just one.
Right, well, I ain't taking advice off no is it lot, but appreciate it.
Hey, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not too keen on them either.
Right. Well, old Reg is
So-
fine with whatever.
You've heard what I need from you. Have you got any questions for me?
You got anything to help us with this?
Just the information I've given you already.
Right, well. Lovely.
I have one. There was a mage that seemed to be kind of running's not the right word, but he was definitely pulling the strings more than the others. They grabbed Master Ember. Maybe you've heard of him.
Aye, the Izzet one.
Yeah,
you
the
gotta
Izzet
cover
one.
him as well.
Yeah, they grabbed him, and it seemed targeted, but I'm not sure why. He's been doing a lot of research lately. I suspect it's something to do with that. If you don't mind me asking, if we could make sure his research was secure, I would feel a lot more comfortable. He's got years of research that I wouldn't want falling into the wrong hands, and I'll flash the glove.
Okay. This research, what's it about?
I'm not entirely sure. He's pretty secretive, but he was one of the first ones that helped me figure out exactly how to melt lead at the temperature needed to create the beams that I shoot. And he's been studying a lot of just the different species around here and kind of what makes them tick, kind of how to make them, better understanding them for potentially reproductive purposes, just in general. He's been sort of dabbling in a little bit of everything.
All right. I'll get someone on that. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Anything else you'd like to ask me?
I reckon that's it.
All right.
I have a question. Do we have access to an armory of sorts here, or?
Well, there's a supply room around the back. That's down the corridor to your left. There's no great deal there. You might find a few arrows, rusty old swords, stuff like that. But most of my agents tend to outfit themselves.
Good to know.
Right.
Well, we best be off then. We don't want to keep you forever.
Well, old Reg is absolutely conked. I reckon it's time for bed.
Yeah. Call it a night and set off early tomorrow.
Reg, on second thought, you can have the room on your own. I'll share with Talora.
Excellent, thank you.
There we go. Save you guys some.
Wait a minute. Why does Reg get the room on his own?
Because I'm the oldest, obviously.
Do you want to sleep with Reg?
Laura, you seem very obsessed about sleeping with me. I'm flattered, mate, but old Reg just wants a good night's rest, alright?
I'm just saying, Reg is the smallest. Does he really need an entire room
I'm
to
the
himself?
oldest, mate.
You're right.
I need my
He can
rest.
sleep with you.
I'll let you boys sort that out between yourselves. I'm going to bed.
I feel like there has to be a better way. What about like what if we compete for the solo room?
Me and Asiris walk away.
Yeah, we're just like, good night,
I
boys.
was gonna walk in a room and get in bed.
I'm gonna walk in the room that Reg isn't in.
I'm gonna stand in the hallway and like stare at both doors intently for about 10 minutes and then sigh and go into the room that Reg isn't in.
Okay.
Right.
So we've got Azeri. I'm just going to take a note of
As
this.
soon as I notice no one is sharing a room with me, I'll take my armor off before getting into bed.
I have a thing that I'm doing as soon as I notice.
Oh, okay.
that Kosh is coming in my room. I'm gonna tell him to go share with Reg.
Who you're gonna what?
I'm gonna say you should go room with Reg. I'm gonna be up all night doing paperwork.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Oh no. Yeah, okay.
So I walk back out after like spending 10 minutes like min-maxing the decision beforehand, and then walk back out into the hallway. And I walk into Reg's room. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be in here. So
Reg, didn't you say you were getting undressed?
Yeah,
He's naked.
I
He's a
took
naked
Yeah,
goblin.
yeah.
no,
man.
I took my armor off. I'd have my
he's
undershirt
not
on.
naked,
Okay.
guys.
But, yeah, I took my armor off once I thought I was sleeping on my own.
I'm gonna walk in.
I imagine I'd have like a vest and
Like a
shorts on
loincloth?
underneath. I'm not a bub. I'm not Gruul, mate. I'm a proud member of the Boros Legion. I imagine I'd have like a vest and shorts on. I look quite cute. They got bunny rabbits on.
I'll just like take off the cloak and take off the gauntlet and break down the
Yeah.
pieces.
I would be visible in terms of Reg.
Oh, okay. So you would notice here, Kosh, that Reg is actually covered in quite horrible scars along his arms and down at his legs. They look quite bad. They're old, but he's seen some tough times in his life.
How long you served, Reg? As I'm kind of like polishing the equipment.
I'd look across right, well, not as long as it might look. And I'd climb into bed and get under quite solemnly for Reg.
Bundle of joy, this group, and I'll crawl into bed as well.
Okay. Does anyone have any final business that they'd like to do before turning in?
Actually, just
Huh?
one quick thing. That like journal that I have, I'm gonna actually do a quick sketch of the guy that took Ember. Actually, just like the best facial like kind of remembrance that I can.
Okay, sure.
Just a sketch.
Does anyone else have any final business they'll be doing?
Yeah, you first.
I was gonna say, I take out the letter that I have on me and I reread it like once or twice, and then I just put it back to bed quietly. I don't do anything else.
Okay.
I don't think we're very talkative just yet. I make sure my weapons are clean, ready to smash some more things in the face for tomorrow. And the last thing I do before I go to bed is pull the angel feather out and run my fingers over it once or twice, and then put it back in my stash.
Okay.
I would
And then-
be writing
Think-
down stuff that happened so that when I get back to my office, eventually I can do proper paperwork.
Sure.
Amazing.
Okay, so you all turn in for the night, and you all complete a long rest and wake up the next morning.
Yay.
Cool.
I get spells back.
Cool. So
Okay, so as we kind of come to, I figure we all are in the kitchen at this point.
Well, do you want to go to the kitchen in the building? You've kind of woken up in your
go
room.
down
I
to the
will at
kitchen
least.
and wolf down a
Yeah.
sausage.
There's an image to greet your morning.
I was gonna say, I head my way to the kitchen and start making. Actually, you know what? I get to the kitchen and I kind of try to make breakfast and fumble very terribly at trying to do so.
Sure. So as you guys are, well, actually, who would be first up? I think Kosh, you said first. You open your door and look out into the corridor, and you see two Vidalcan guys just walking along the corridor, and they kind of give you a nod as they're walking by you, but they don't say anything else.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning to you. Oh, I'm sorry. You must be the ones that were hired by the council. And then the other Vidalcan turns and looks at you as well. And you can see close up that now Vidalcan do look kind of similar. They're all blue-skinned and
Wow.
bald.
Wow.
These
They
two,
all look the same.
yeah, these two do look near identical, to the point where you can assume there is some sort of family relationship between the two of them. And one of them has the only differentiating feature between them is that one of them has a small scar just on his upper lip.
Right, we were the ones the council hired.
So you'll be working for Gelder then for the time being.
Yeah, and as the commanding official of this group, you can bring all official inquiries to me.
The commanding official. That's you, is it?
Yes, obviously after Gelder, of course.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Anslow, and this here is my brother, Folnir. And we also work for Gelder.
Just a quick question, Craig. How do I spell that second one?
Folnir.
Okay.
But anyway, if there's nothing else, we've got some business to be taken care of. If you see Gelder, let him know we've headed out for the day.
Oh, okay, of course. I'm just going to get breakfast.
Yeah. And they kind of wander off down the corridor and back down the stairs.
I do that. I awkwardly walk the same direction as them after we've said goodbye because I assume that's where the kitchen is.
No, it's the opposite direction.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't do that.
Assumptions,
So,
right?
yeah, you all now all gathered in the kitchen. So Red, you've been wolfing down a sausage, as you said.
Yeah, I
and
just be
Laura's trying to
eating
make
the
breakfast.
meats, man. Just eating the
Okay.
meats. I love the meats.
Mhm. Good night's sleep, everyone.
Yeah, not bad.
Well enough considering our day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every day someone tries to kill you in the Legion. Maybe most days, but yesterday was a special one. I ain't never seen people dressed up like that. The Orzhov and the Selesnya going at it. Ooh.
It's all very suspicious, though. Curious
Why
to
would-
see what we find out.
Yeah, why would such a diverse group turn on people like that? It doesn't even make sense.
I don't
I
know.
mutter under my breath. Well, we would know if they weren't dead.
Well, you think you'd know, mate, but what's to say they tell you?
I said under my breath.
Oh, I'm always under your breath, mate. I'm 3'10".
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Got
Well, they're not all dead. Two of them are in the span of atonement. So
Yeah, about that. I mean, you have access to that, right? It's all you, right?
do we, Craig? No,
Are you-
it's the guild
who-
guys. Guild
who-
guys, right?
No, I'm talking to Daru here.
Oh.
I mean, I would say that it wasn't the Azorius' idea.
Oh, really? That's not what I heard.
Wait, what? Isn't that what you said? Didn't you say this was a council decision, not the Azorius?
Oh, me? Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, the Azorius were one of the ones who were kind of a little bit vocal against.
Oh, okay. I
but
misunderstood.
The Span of Atonement was eventually decided through a group decision to be built, but
Okay.
the Azorius were kind of the vocal ones against it.
Then I don't say that.
Okay.
Right. All sounds a little bit sadistic to me. I reckon we go take a look, though.
Question, Craig.
Sure.
So it would be the guild guys, like, guarding the area, right?
You wouldn't know. You've never.
Wouldn't know.
Well, actually,
Have we ever been there?
you probably would know that it's a place that sometimes Boros guards are stationed at.
Okay.
But
Maybe
you yourself haven't served there.
Maybe we should have Gelder give us like some kind of official document from the council so we can get there. I feel like we probably should have asked the council for something, because if not, we're gonna have to sneak in. And no offense, Ceres, but you're really hard to not notice. That's a compliment when you think about it. You really command the room.
I'm quite deft on my feet, thank you very much.
That's not really my concern. It's more like you're like 8 feet tall and 3 times the size of me.
Yeah. Well,
Fair enough.
old Gilda had been told we were coming, so maybe they have as well. We could ask Gilda, though.
I feel like the Span of Atonement, letting the guards know, that's probably a bit below the council's pay grade. I think they'd probably expect us to handle that.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Should we ask Gilda?
Yeah. Let's go speak to him, see what we can get, and we'll figure it out from there, I guess.
Yeah, you go speak to him. I was going to be raking in cheese and sausage and eating it.
Yeah, I'm
Stuffing some
actually
in my
gonna stay
pockets.
down. I'm gonna stay downstairs as well and just keep eating.
The kitchen's on the first floor. It's the Gelder's offices, the rooms you stayed in, all of it's on the first floor. The ground floor, the only thing there was the lobby where the older Loxodon women
Oh,
stayed.
okay.
Alright.
Daru, Talora, shall we?
Sure thing.
All right. So we make our way to Gilder's office.
Okay. You
Knock on
knock
the
on the
door?
door.
Yep. Is he
Okay.
there?
You knock, no answer.
Right.
Is he gone out for the day?
We could go ask. What's her face downstairs? I forget her name now.
Get her. I don't think we got her name, to be honest.
Yeah, we just assumed.
I don't want to
Reg,
suggest.
pass me one of
this.
those dinner rolls.
Should we go inside? Maybe he left something on the desk for us.
What type of cheese is this anyway?
If we have any
Shoveling
problems,
it.
I think we can just get in.
Fair enough.
We'll be
I'll
fine.
leave it.
Is
I
Talora
mean-
down
I
with
mean-
us, or is she trying to get
Talora's
killed?
with us.
Right.
Azaris,
Uh,
Daru, and Talora are going to knock on
Then
the
I
Gelder.
shall eat without shame. I consume an inhuman, a goblin amount of cheese.
Okay.
I think that's Swiss, by the way.
What the bloody hell is Swiss?
It's a type of cheese, you
Oh,
know,
right, yeah.
based off of.
Right. Well, the longer we wait here, the more our.
So you guys knocked at the door. Are you trying anything else? And there's no answer.
Don't
Want
want
to
to
try
go
the
in.
handle or anything like that, or are we just leaving it?
I'm gonna try to open the door.
Okay.
Mm.
You try to open the door, and the door is locked.
All right. So you shall not pass. Cool. All right. Time is wasting. Let's go get this done, shall we?
Yeah, let's go grab the others and head downstairs.
If we can
Or
Reg
away.
away from his sausage.
Reg, I hear him coming. Stop doing that to the
Bloody
sausage.
hell. I'm gonna grab the remaining meats and cheeses and shove them in my pockets.
All right. Okay.
You ready
All
to
right.
go, everyone?
Yep.
Geldar wasn't there, so we'll have to manage on our own.
I'm sure we'll be fine. What did the council call us? A varied group of people? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, something like that.
Worst comes to worst, Daru can flash paperwork or something at him, I'm sure.
Yeah. He can bore them to death with
He
his
does
codes
bloody
and
love
such.
paperwork.
Let's go.
Okay. So you guys make your way towards the Span of Atonement, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Oh, you said yeah. I thought you said something else there, Lauren.
No,
Sorry.
I said yes, sir.
Yes,
sorry.
sir. Okay. Okay, so you guys make your way along the streets, and it's a little bit of a walk for you, about 20 minutes or so. You have to go back into sort of the upper district until you eventually arrive at the Span of Atonement. So it's a large bridge that spans the gaps between two areas off the 10th district. And down below, you can see as you're approaching it, there is a very large drop and you can't see the bottom of it, just mist and maybe the odd spire kind of pokes through it, but it is a sheer drop until you can see the other side of the district between the bridge. You can also spot at this distance, you can see from the side you're approaching on about 15 or so cages hanging off the edges. And the cages themselves are square and they're hanging off the sides of the edges affixed to a crane or some sort of pulley system that's holding them up. But they're all slightly rocking in the wind that's blowing.
Right. I'm gonna look
Are there
at it and
any-
be like, oh, this is bloody sickening. I reckon a quick death is kinder than this.
I agree.
As do I. Craig, are there any guards around?
Okay. As you approach the bridge, yeah, you do see some Boros legionnaires guarding the end of the bridge you're at. There's a small little hut just at one end of it, but they're all sort of milling around, kicking their feet, and you don't see anyone else moving out further on the bridge itself. Just the guards posted at this end. And although it's quite a ways away to get across, you can see some more Boros figures kind of adorned in the white and red at the other end.
All right.
So what's the plan? Maybe we get like a good cop, bad cop going
I
in
was
here?
just gonna start walking towards the guards.
Okay.
Well, I was going to let you be the bad cop. Come on.
He's already the bad cop, don't worry.
So
I'll
I
look up with
essentially
him.
I just flash my my Azorius badge.
Oh my
FBI,
god.
let me in. I flash my my badge showing my authority and say essentially I have to interview a couple of the prisoners in here.
Whoa,
Get
whoa,
details
whoa,
on the
whoa,
attack that
whoa.
happened.
That's a fancy badge, mate, but we can't just let anyone onto the bridge. I know you're with the Azorius, and that's all well and good, but we've got orders not to let anyone on. These are some of the worst folk in Ravnica. Do you have a warrant?
Yeah, more or less.
These guys are with the Boros Legion. They're one of you guys.
I'll tell you what. And then, as he's saying that, there's another guardsman next to him. They're both human guys, by the way. One of them is kind of freckly and has sort of buck teeth, and he's the one that you're speaking to, Deru. There's another one who kind of has more wispier hair, and he's got small little beady eyes, and he kind of looks at the other guard as he's speaking to you, and he says, Alice, no. Don't worry, Finlay, I got this. If you wouldn't mind feeding the prisoners for us, we'll let you on.
Feed the prisoners.
Right.
Aye,
All of them?
There's only 30 of them.
Wait, how do we feed them before I agree?
Ah, don't worry, Reg has got a Michelin star. They'll love it. It'll be fine.
What does that even mean,
Oh,
Reg?
don't worry, it's a very famous bunch of restaurants down in the Undercity. Right. How do we feed him? He's right.
It's easy. Right. We've got a basket of bread over there. 30 loaves. We've got a few buckets filled with water. All you got to do, lower down beside each cell is a bucket itself. Lower that down, get the cup of the prisoner, pull the bucket back up, ladle in some water, put in the loaf of bread, lower it back down, they'll grab it right out of the bucket. Easy as that.
Right. Sounds a bit complicated for old Reg.
I'm
Anyone want to
just
handle
gonna
that?
say
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Yeah,
Now, which prisoners are you looking for?
The two
Oh,
that were
you
brought
know.
in yesterday.
Yeah, I would
following
describe
the
the prisoners.
Well, we only had one brought in yesterday.
Right, that one.
What? Sure, that one.
All right then. So, he says to you, That'll be cell 5 you want. It's on the right side, just 2 down.
All right. I'm pretty much going to say, like, a couple of you guys handle the feeding. And I'm just going to start walking towards the cell 5.
Whoa. Whoa,
I'm gonna
Daru,
take
come
the
on, we're
bucket
a
of bread
team
and
here.
start eating the bread.
No, okay, Daru, we're a team, and
Reg,
come on,
no.
Reg, stop eating the bread. Come on,
No.
guys.
Oh, you don't
I
get
slap
bread like this.
Reg.
I'm just
Whoa!
judging. I'm judging
I
both
slapped
of
Laura back on the ankles because I ain't that tall. She's a bloody lanky one, that.
I'll step between them and like push you guys back. Guys, stop fighting. Seriously, we gotta go catch up to Daru.
Alright, I'll put the bread back in the basket, but just to be like,
Give me the basket.
fine.
I take the basket from Reg and I'm holding it.
Okay.
Alright, I'll grab a couple of baskets as well. Might as well multitask.
Okay. So there's still the buckets as well, filled with the water.
Oh, right. How many buckets can I carry?
You
How many
can try
hands
and
do you
carry as
have?
many as you want.
Sure, I'll
They're
just grab.
pretty strong.
I'm strong. I'll grab a few. I'll be like, right,
Okay.
let's go.
All right. Okay. So, is Daru, are you the only one going to the prisoner?
I'm sprinting off after him,
All right. Okay.
chastising him as I go. Daru, we're supposed to be a team.
I'll start doing buckets and stuff.
Okay. So
I'm walking behind Talora trying to steal bread out the basket.
I'm
Okay.
getting him dirty looks while trying to keep it away from him. Up high so he can't reach it.
sure.
That's just mean.
So we'll come back to Daru and Kosh in a second. Just for you guys feeding the prisoners, it kind of works just as the guards described. You lowered that. Well, do you want to? You arrive at the first prison cell. Would you like to try feeding the prisoner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to try to feed the prisoner.
I
Sure.
would like to attempt to cast feed.
Roll for,
I
ini-
very much
roll
so
for
feel
initiative.
like I'm a prisoner in this situation.
Okay.
Give me bread.
Okay. It's a fairly straightforward process, as the guards described. You lower down a bucket initially, and then you see kind of a pale hand reach out and places a wooden cup in the bucket, and then it retracts down back into the bars. But you can't really see inside the cells. They all have kind of wood paneling across the top. You can just see some of the iron bars that are around the exteriors of the cells.
Okay.
And then you pull it back up, ladle in some water, put some bread in the bucket as well, and drop it down. And again, these hands reach out, grab it, and pull it back in. And that's essentially it. There's not really, none of the prisoners try to talk to you, unless do any of you try to talk to any of the other prisoners?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right. So, Daru and Kosh, you guys arrive at cell number 5. So you can see just at the base of the crane, it does have like a 5 engraved into the metal. And the cell just kind of swings solemnly.
All right, I'm thinking I'll be the good cop, you be the bad cop. We'll get him for sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. There is no good cop, bad cop. Let me do my job.
No, fine, Daru. We'll try it your way, but when the good cop, bad cop routine works, I'm just saying, I told you so.
So is there like a crank thing?
Do you mean
how
to
do-
try and raise the
how do you-
cell?
Get
Yeah.
them up to talk to them.
You can see some pulleys and things like that.
Oh, I would, I mean, not to assume, but this would probably be more my area of expertise. Would I recognize how to work this at all?
Well, it's not really magical in nature. It's more mechanical. But you can see something that you might turn.
I said
Like a
I'm
crank or
not
something for
really that magically inclined. I'm kind of more mechanical, so that might be better for me. I mean, it's up to you. Just would I understand how to operate this system?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I mean, it's just a crank.
Oh, why did you just say it was a crank?
I did. I said that, but you kept on talking. So yeah, do you start to turn the crank?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you turn the crank, and it's kind of a slow process until eventually the cell is pulled up alongside you, and you can see the woman dressed in the Orzhov garb, and she's just kind of she turns and looks at you as you raise her up, but she's looking kind of bruised around the eyes and bloody and swollen lip and that sort of thing. But She doesn't say anything. She just looks at you.
Let's see. All right, so essentially, I'm gonna start. No, why am I saying it like that? What do you remember? Why did you attack us?
She looks at you and she just, I don't remember anything. Nothing.
What's the last thing you remember?
She kind of takes a moment where she's just kind of quiet for a little bit, and just before you think she's not going to say anything, she says, I remember a room. There was a lot of us in it. I don't know where it was, but it wasn't. I don't know why we were there. I could barely see anything. It was so dark, and the only thing I could hear was the sound of animals crying out, the smell of blood, sounds of people passing on the street, but I didn't have any call to shout out to them or call out. I just remember being chained up to this wall alongside several others like me, but...
What do you mean, like you?
Just that same blank look in their faces, which I guess I have now.
And do I notice that she, like, does it seem like she's telling the truth?
Yeah.
Make a... What's it called?
Insight.
Insight. That's the one. Yeah, make an insight check.
Can I do this as well, or give him help?
Yeah, whatever you prefer. Justin, if you want to roll advantage, or...
Oh, sure. So that one was a 12. This one is less than 12, so 12.
Okay. It's hard to get an exact read, but the way she's talking, that sort of thing, you've dealt with people who have kind of been, not shell-shocked exactly, but kind of a little bit traumatized after things that have happened to them. And you could get the kind of feeling that she is being as honest as she can.
How far away is the cage? Like, how do they get prisoners into and out of the cages? Like, is it raised like so it's close to?
So the height that you pulled the cage to now is kind of above the walls of the bridge itself, or the kind of barrier of the bridge, and you can see that there seems to be a way that you could turn the crane so that it's hanging above the bridge itself, and then you could lower it again, and then there is a door you can see on the cell.
All right.
Listen, my friend here, he's trying to be nice, but you really don't want to see him when he's angry, you know? Just let's talk. Let's be reasonable. Come on, you have to remember something more than just a room.
Sorry. I told you everything I remember. The room with the people in it, and the smell of blood and the animals crying out.
Face away from the door and hold your hands behind your back.
Uh-oh.
Dara, what are you doing here?
Just be ready.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, she closes her eyes and turns backs off from the door.
All right, I'm gonna try and cuff her through the. Or is she in chains already?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna try and put her in some chains through the door.
Okay. Well, the cell's still hanging over the. Have you turned the cell using the crane?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So now you can reach up, and yeah, she puts her arms through the cell, and you cuff her.
All right. I'm gonna open the cell door.
Okay. You tried to open the cell door, and it is locked.
Crap.
Having some trouble over there, Darren.
Lock prison cells. That's what I was
So,
thinking.
you know, Daryl, I really don't want to say I told you so, but I feel like this good cop, bad cop routine is looking a lot better now. It's too late. It's too late. She knows about our routine now. I said it out loud. It's gone. That opportunity has sailed.
Hey, Kosh, do you mind grabbing one of those guards back there?
Yeah, okay. Oh, I'll go pick one up. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Burroughs Legion, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that was pretty funny, Reg. I'll give you that one.
What? Oh, right. Hey, Talora, give me the bread.
You're not getting the darn bread.
Just a
Go
bit
away.
of bread.
And I'm like fighting.
I'm
like,
hanging
putting
off
one
the
hand
basket
away.
at this point.
You're like a crab hanging on to dear life.
Yeah, hanging on to
Oh, don't
dear
mention
bread.
crabs.
I fed. Yeah, I mentioned crabs. I fed a few prisoners. Yay! I'm efficient.
But yeah, I try to wave down like one of the guys who let us in.
Yeah, what you need?
That stuffy Azorius guy wants your help with something.
Well, we let him speak to the prisoners. What more does he want?
Well, you know how those Azorius guys are. They're all, listen to me. I've got the badge. I do the paperwork. Like I'm with you guys on this, but he asked me to come get you.
Okay.
It'll just be easier if you come with me.
Okay. He turns to the other guard and he says, Finley, you keep a watch here. I'll go with him. And the other guard just nods and he comes towards you and starts following you if you lead him back to Darrow.
Yeah, I lead him back to Darrow.
Meanwhile, they see me and Reg fighting over a basket of bread on the way there.
They're just like,
Wouldn't be fighting if you just gave me the bread, Talora. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Darrow, I got this guy.
So which one was it that came back? The pocked?
Bucktooth
Yeah,
one?
the freckled and bucktooth guy.
Crap. That's fine. So, as you may have noticed, only one person came in, and we had mentioned that there should have been two. However, the reason we mentioned this is because one of them was misplaced, namely this one. This one belongs over in my precinct. She was placed here incorrectly.
That's not the order of the guild council, I'm afraid. They want them here. They want this one here. I don't know about this other one you're talking about. Have you checked with your own people if she's with them now?
He means the Azorius?
Yeah.
That's exactly why I was sent down here. All of us were sent by the guild council to investigate what's going on, and they mentioned that this one was placed here accidentally.
And listen, I mean, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but if we have to go back to the guild council and stand in front of all 10 of them and say, what's your name again? Alice, was it?
Ellis.
Ellis. If we have to go down there, and I'll kind of walk over next to him, and Ellis, if we have to stand in front of those council, the whole lot of them, and say, Ellis of the Boros Legion working down at the Span of Atonement just wouldn't let us do what they told us to do, I mean, that's going to all fall on you, and I don't want that. You don't want that. My buddy here doesn't want that either.
Okay. So you guys are lying right now, right? About this. I'm
just following his lead. I don't know.
Okay.
I am
Alright.
technically lying, yes.
All right.
Okay.
Make a deception check.
Deception?
While this is going on,
Wait,
I kind of walk up imposingly behind Ellis. Just in case.
I briefly pretend to stop struggling for bread. And then as soon as Talora relaxes her guard, bread. That's what I'm going for.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, you.
Oh no.
This had to be the first net one.
Oh no.
Daru actually Rakdos confirmed.
It's fine. I have a plan.
Oh dear
So
God.
after you say this, Ellis just kind of, for a brief moment, there was like slight panic in his eyes, but now he just kind of shakes his head and says, "Nah, you're having a laugh." Nah.
All right. I'm going to go and cast a spell.
All right. What would you like to cast?
We're gonna fight guards.
I'm going to cast Command.
Okay.
Isn't there two?
So while he's doing this, I'm going to start looking, making sure there's no other guards watching us. I'm going to give a quick scout.
All right. Make a perception check then, Lockin.
Oh boy. That is a 9.
A 9. You kind of look up and down the bridge, and you do still see there's the other guard at the opposite end, and then there's a few more guards down by the end you didn't approach from. but that's better. You don't really kind of get the idea if anyone else is looking towards what's going on here. So, Daru, what are you doing?
I'm casting command. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or follow the command until its next turn. The command is believe.
Okay. So it's until its next turn, then. Okay.
That's what the spell says. I don't know how it deals with like long-term things.
Well, a turn is only 6 seconds.
6 seconds. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm not sure, because like.
So command, in my opinion, command is
if it's
typically used
believe-
for like a short action, like drop or etc.
Give me the keys.
Bread. Can Reg cast command?
Bread.
Bread. is the
Command word bread.
Okay.
I'd like to target Talora with command. with a give.
Okay, he rolled a wisdom?
Yeah.
Yeah, he rolled a 15.
Well, it failed anyway.
Oh no. You just tried to charm a member of like the guild council.
Okay.
No, it's a Boris Legion, man. It's fine.
Oh,
So-
yeah, they're all idiots. That's fine.
This
I should
where
mention.
it goes downhill.
It's fine.
Okay.
I should mention that
I'm-
that into normal speaking, I was like, believe me, I'm telling the truth.
You can go for. I don't want to step on your toes here, Craig. So you can go before I do. If you want.
You tried to cast the spell, Daru, but it doesn't seem to have any effect in the guard, but he doesn't seem to notice you doing anything like that. So, Kosh, what are you doing?
Oh well, then I'm just gonna say. So I'm gonna be real with you on this one, okay? We need to find information on where the missing one is, and I need you to help me help you here. Now, imagine if we can go back to the council and tell them
Nope.
was the one that.
Is Lockham lagging for anyone else?
Yeah, Logan's dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back now.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
You're lagging.
Did that all cut out?
No, yeah, that cut out, but you're good now.
Maybe. I
Oh,
think I'm cutting out again.
your audio's fine. Do what you want.
Okay, well then I'll just keep going. So basically I say that.
Sorry, can you repeat
You
it?
gotta repeat
Yeah,
it.
We
okay,
didn't
okay.
hear what you said.
Okay. I'll say it. Look, Ellis. You know how it is. I'll be real with you. We need to find this other person, and I need you to help me help you. Imagine if we can go back to the council and tell them that you were the one that gave us the lead we needed.
I don't care about the bleeding council. They make me stand guard here all day.
I'm gonna, while all this is going on, lead over to Talora and be like, right, I've got a plan.
You're not getting the bread,
Like
Reg.
doing guard duty?
I've got a plan, don't worry.
You're not getting the bread.
I've got a plan. Give me a bit of bread and I'll show you.
God damn it, no!
Right. Damn it, back to the drawing board.
All right. I seeing that these two are bumbling their way through trying to get this prisoner for whatever reason. I'm gonna walk up behind Ellis and try and intimidate him into agreeing with us. To being like, just give us the keys. Let us talk to this person and take them.
So what is it you're exactly saying to poor
well,
Alice here?
Poor Ellis. I'm going to be trying to be as intimidating as an 8-foot minotaur can be and be like, Ellis, we need you to cooperate, please. May we have the keys?
Okay, roll an intimidation check then.
All right. I really don't want to beat this guy up. Shit. That's a 7 natural.
We suck at this.
I added 2 for intimidation.
Okay.
9.
So Alice kind of looks around at all of you and he just says, look, there's the prisoner. Ask them what you want. You're not taking them. I'll leave you to it, all right?
Right. I reckon we might be stuck talking to him.
There we go.
Look, I wanted to do the good cop, bad cop routine, but we didn't do it, and now we're here. I'm not saying I told you so, but I told you so.
Didn't
So-
commit
So it's
the
like,
crime.
is he leaving or what is he doing?
Yeah, didn't he say he was like?
Yeah, Alice at this point just kind of starts walking back towards the other end of the bridge.
Right.
Shall we continue questioning them?
Yeah, I reckon.
They don't. There's nothing left to be gained. Daryl already did pretty much everything he could.
They can't answer.
I overheard a mention of a room. What did it look like? The
Are
interior.
you asking?
I'm asking the prisoner now because I'm assuming they're just sitting there being like,
Pretty much, yeah. So she says, I don't remember much from inside the room. I've told your friends what I know. Myself and many others were manacled to the walls of this room. From outside, we could hear people passing by, and there was the sounds of animals' brain and then crying out. And there was a smell of blood. And it all seemed to be coming from below where we were. That's all I remember.
are we looking for a slaughterhouse, perhaps?
Sounds like a slaughterhouse.
Maybe we
I mean,
investigate there.
I'm not saying we do this, but worst comes to worst, we could come back here later tonight and just bust her out.
I ain't doing that, mate.
I don't think it's wise.
We could follow the other lead first. It's just like Plan C.
Mate, that's bloody Plan Z as far as I'm concerned.
But
Well,
Plan Z is the best one.
While Reg is turning over and talking to Cash, I cast Minor Illusion to cast a piece of bread on the ground in the distance, just like slightly far away from me, and go, Reg, look! There's your bread!
While
or no, I
she's-
go, wait, no, I go, oh no, shit, I dropped it! And then I
While
point
she's
to,
yelling and
bread.
pointing, I try to grab the entire basket off her.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you can certainly try. So Clora Reg tries to wrestle the bag out of your hands.
I'm
you-
contesting it.
Okay. All right. Connor, if you want to give me a strength check.
All right.
Oh dear. Hungry goblins should win.
I rolled a 19. It's 21. This dice is OP. I love it. This one's doing good.
Talora, you can contest this with athletics or acrobatics check.
All right, here we
Whoa,
go.
wait. I just did strength. Wait.
Yeah, to grab something like that, because it's kind of like a grapple or
Yeah.
restrain someone, it's... Sorry, athletics, not a strength check. My bad.
Okay, I have the same bonus. It's the same.
Okay.
I just checked.
All right, let's go nat 20. Ah, dang it. I have a 12.
I'm afraid that's not enough. And Reg, you managed to wrestle the basket of bread out of Talora's hands.
I look at it just with wide eyes, like, you know when you achieve something that you've wanted for so long, and you don't even know what to do with it? Like, that's the look I give this basket of bread. And I'm just gonna grab a hunk of bread and start chowing down.
I tackle him to the ground for the bread.
Oh my goodness.
Get a hold of yourselves. You're making fools of us all.
All right, so Talora, are you trying to tackle him to the ground?
I'm gonna
or
take
shove
some
him?
of the cheese out of my pockets and just throw it at Talora.
Ceres, can you split these two up so we can get moving?
Gladly. So
God
I
damn it,
reach
Reg.
down and yoink them both up, like hold them up.
Bloody hell! Put me down, private!
Can we please carry on with our mission? Both of you behave.
Yeah, I'm alright
And I, like,
now.
just
I
drop
was
you.
gonna shove like 4 hunks of bread in my pockets.
I give Reg the dirtiest look of all time.
I give the bread the sauciest look of all time.
All right. Daru, is there anything else we can learn here?
Nope.
All right.
Okay. So, are you guys making your way off the bridge now?
Yep.
All right.
I think so.
Okay. All right. So, you guys make your way off the bridge, and I think this is probably a good place to end it.
Alright.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the
Taking
session.
a relaxing
Right.
break on terrifying prison bridge.
Bloody hell! What was happening there?
Let's, let's all walk off the bridge. That sounds not a good idea.
I thought we were going to have to for a while.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have to like throw that guy off the bridge at one point when we just kept throwing like below
I didn't know
5.
where that was going to go. Like, if
Yeah,
it was not
throws
going
a
wrong.
member of the Boros Legion off the bridge. Remembers
Yeah.
2 party members are in the Boros Legion.
Anyway, I guess that's where we'll end it for tonight. So thanks again to everyone for watching. You can catch us again here next week, 10 p.m. GMT on Twitch, and then upload it onto YouTube the next day. But that's it from me. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and see you later.
Bye.
Bye.